Chapter 26. April 11th, Friday. In the morning, Fong Ping used his father's antique phone to apply for the morning's leave from the class teacher. Lu Onghua was very concerned. He urged Fong Ping to rest and take care of himself over the phone. The Fong Ping of today was not the Fong Ping of the past. There was hope for martial sciences. The martial sciences exams were just around the corner. If he were to fall sick now, Lu Onghua would want to cry. Lu Onghua only stopped when Fong Ping said that he was only feeling slightly unwell. He urged him for a while before agreeing to Fong Ping's leave without hesitation. Fong Mingrong and his wife finally believed that their son had a chance for martial sciences. The class teacher would not have done this if he did not have a chance for martial sciences. Fong Yuan, who had doubted her brother's bragging, could not help but believe that her brother was not bragging. The girl was starting to doubt her life. Could her brother really pass the exams? Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry when he saw the disbelief in her eyes. Soon his parents went to work and Fong Yuan went to school. Fong Ping was the only one left in the house. Although it was quiet upstairs, Fong Ping was sure that the guy upstairs was still at home. A super nerd. Fong Ping had not seen him leave the house other than to eat. Of course, other nerds would stay at home, surf the internet, watch television, or do something else. However, Fong Ping was sure that the guy upstairs did not surf the internet or watch television. The internet had been turned off a long time ago, and the television had not been turned on either. Who knew what kind of naughty things a nerd like this was up to? Fong Ping suspected that the guy was hiding by the window or sticking his ear to the floor, eavesdropping on his house. Fong Ping did not know if martial artists were strong in all aspects, including hearing. That was why he was careful not to say anything out of line, even when he was at home, including when he went upstairs to observe and today's leave. Fong Ping had followed the rules. He did it step by step and did not seem out of place. He did not rush upstairs to look for an opportunity. Fong Ping wandered around the house, put on his coat, and stuffed the small bottle of medicine into his sleeve, the mouth of the bottle facing his palm. He tested it against his own cup a few times. When he felt that he could quickly pour it in, he let out a sigh of relief. The medicine smelled bland, but he did not know if it tasted good. Fong Ping was still worried. He took a little from the bottle, mixed it into the water, and took a sip. He tasted it with the tip of his tongue. It was no different from normal water, so he spat it out immediately. Only then did a smile appear on his face. Colorless and odorless. It was better than he had imagined. Martial artists were also humans. Even if their sense of smell and taste were more sensitive, they would not be able to discover it easily. Fong Ping did not think that anyone could remain vigilant at all times, not to mention that he was a good student. He lay in bed for a while. When it was past 9 in the morning, he got up and walked to his kitchen. After entering the kitchen, Fong Ping picked up the thermos and muttered to himself, "There's no hot water in the house. There's no hot water to take the medicine. I can't take it." With a sigh, Fong Ping took a few flu pills and a glass of water with him and headed outside. Second floor. Bang, bang, bang. Huang Bin was rummaging through his bag when he heard the knock on the door. His expression changed slightly. Huang Bin quickly stuffed the package under the sofa and held his breath without moving. "Uncle, are you home?" A voice came from outside the door. Huang Bin frowned. It was that kid again. Annoyance appeared on his face. He lived in seclusion because he did not want to interact with outsiders. This kid had come twice in 2 days. He did not want to answer, but after some thought, he replied, "I'm here. I'll be right there." Outside the door, Huang Bin opened the door with a silly smile on his face. "You didn't go to school today?" Fong Ping rubbed his forehead and said in distress, "I don't know if it's because I've been stressed out these few days. I'm a little dizzy, so I took the whole morning off." "Uncle, do you have hot water in the house?" "I wanted to take some medicine, but there's no hot water in the house. It'll take a while to boil it, so I came up." Huang Bin understood and felt even more annoyed. You really don't see yourself as an outsider. You're here to borrow water when there's no hot water in the house. Despite his impatience, Huangbin smiled and said, I have hot water here. Come in. Thank you, uncle. Don't mention it. The two exchanged some pleasantries before Fang Ping entered the house with a glass of water. Huangbin pointed at the kitchen. The thermos is over there. Do you want me to help you? No, uncle, don't mention it. I can do it myself. Fang Ping waved his hands hurriedly. He looked at the half-drawn curtains on the balcony and said casually, It's a little dark in the house. Uncle, are these curtains broken? They're not broken. Oh, I thought the curtains were broken. Huangbin was even more speechless. Why do you have to care about everything? However, with this guy's reminder, Huangbin realized that something was not right. It was indeed not appropriate to draw the curtains in the house in broad daylight. Seeing Fang Ping walk toward the kitchen, Huangbin did not follow. He walked toward the balcony and prepared to open the curtains. Fang Ping breathed a sigh of relief. He had thought about this many times in his mind. Huangbin was following his plan. Of course, even if Huangbin did not go to the balcony, Fang Ping had other tricks up his sleeve. Now, he could save himself some trouble. Fang Ping did not waste any time. He went straight into the kitchen, picked up the thermos, and poured a glass of water for himself. Then he quickly fished out a small medicine bottle from his sleeve, opened the cork, and poured the medicine directly into the thermos. When he was done, Fang Ping stuffed the medicine bottle into his pocket and capped it. Then he picked up the glass of water and walked out of the kitchen. When he left the kitchen, Huangbin had already opened the curtains and was walking toward the kitchen. Fang Ping did not panic. The other party could be a martial artist. If the other party could sense his increased heartbeat, it would be troublesome. Seeing Huangbin walk over, Fang Ping raised the glass of water and said with a smile, Thank you, uncle. No problem. Huangbin did not say much. He paused after saying that. The kid should leave after pouring the water. Unexpectedly, Fang Ping did not seem to notice the owner's impatience. He had no intention of leaving. Fang Ping had no choice. He did not have any surveillance cameras. Who knew when Huangbin would drink the water? He could only wait and see. Only when the other party drank the water could he seize the opportunity. Otherwise, if he missed the timing, even if the other party really drank the water, he would not know. It would be useless. Even if the guy did not pay attention to it the first time and drank the water, he would definitely notice that something was wrong afterward. It was almost impossible for him to find a second chance. Besides, he would also be suspected, so there was only one chance. Under such circumstances, Fang Ping naturally would not leave. He would wait until the other party drank the water with his own eyes. Fang Ping did not care about what Huangbin thought. He held the glass of water and drank it while taking a few flu pills. Then he said, Uncle, do you usually stay at home alone? Yes. My family is in the countryside. I came to Sun City to work alone. Fang Ping cursed in his heart. Can't you be smarter with your lies? Am I that stupid? A part-time worker who doesn't look for a job but rents an apartment by himself. Just takeout alone costs tens to hundreds a day. Do you really think I've never seen a part-time worker before? Despite his curses, Fang Ping said sympathetically, Your son must miss you a lot. That's how I am. My dad goes out to work and usually comes home late. Sometimes I miss him a lot when I don't see him for a day. Right. Uncle, can I watch the TV here? My dad removed the smart card from my TV. He said that I'm a senior in high school, so I'm not allowed to watch TV. I haven't watched TV in a long time. Huangbin's face turned green. The little bastard downstairs was really thick-skinned. Not only did he ask for water, but he also wanted to watch TV here. Have you considered my feelings? However, considering that the other party was young and did not know the ways of the world, Huangbin suppressed his impatience and said, My side. Before he could finish, Fang Ping had already walked to the living room, picked up the remote control, and turned on the TV. As soon as the TV was turned on, Fong Ping said excitedly, "Uncle, can I watch TV here for a while?" Mother asterisk cur. Huang Bin was cursing in his heart. "I haven't even agreed, and you've already turned on the TV and sat on the sofa. What else can I say? I wanted to say that the TV is broken, but what else can I say now? I'm pretending to be a good person. There is no one else in the house, so I have no excuse to chase him away. Should I say that I want to go out?" Right now, he wished that no one would pay attention to him. What if he goes out in broad daylight and gets watched? After thinking for a while, Huang Bin suppressed his impatience and said with a smile, "It's fine. You can watch for a while if you like." "Uncle, do you like watching football? Do you want to watch it together?" "No need. I'm fine with watching anything." Huang Bin sighed again in his heart. "Forget it. I'll just bear with it for a while. This kid has to go to school eventually. Didn't he say that he took the whole morning off? At most, he'll only watch mealtime." After thinking this through, Huang Bin could not do anything else with an outsider like Fong Ping around. He could only sit on the sofa and stare blankly at the TV. Fong Ping stared at the TV as well. He looked fascinated, but he was actually a little impatient. When is this guy going to drink water? He would leave immediately after he drank water. He would knock on the door in 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, the drug should have taken effect. Even if he did not pass out, he should be feeling weak all over, right? After watching TV for half an hour, Huang Bin had no intention of drinking water. Fong Ping was helpless. He picked up the glass and stood up. "Uncle, I'll go get some water. I'm really thirsty. I'll get you a glass too." Before Huang Bin could refuse, Fong Ping went straight to the kitchen. He did not pour water directly. Instead, he carried the thermos into the living room. He poured a glass for himself first, then poured a large glass for Huang Bin. Huang Bin did not want to talk at all. This kid was a little too friendly. If not for the fact that he did not want to attract attention, he would have thrown him out the window. Fong Ping did not care what Huang Bin was thinking. He glanced at Huang Bin's glass out of the corner of his eye. Fong Ping did not touch his own glass. He continued to stare at the TV, as if he was so engrossed that he forgot to drink water. Humans were susceptible to psychological cues. If there was no water in front of you, you might not go out of your way to find water to drink. However, if there was a glass of water in front of you, even if you were not thirsty, you would subconsciously drink some. This was especially true when someone poured water for you. Most of the time, you would drink some even if you were not thirsty. Fong Ping's act of pouring water for Huang Bin earlier was to complete this psychological cue. Fong Ping was fine. He could use the TV to divert his attention. Huang Bin, on the other hand, was not in the mood to watch TV. He had nothing to do at the moment. Drinking some water could ease his mood. After a few minutes, Huang Bin moved his body. He leaned forward and picked up the glass in front of him. For a moment, Fong Ping's heart almost stopped. In order not to show any signs of abnormality, Fong Ping stared at the TV and said softly, "Score a goal, score a goal." In reality, Fong Ping was being overly cautious. Huang Bin was on guard against many people. He was on guard against the Department of Investigation Services, foreign martial artists, and other suspicious characters. However, he had never thought of suspecting Fong Ping. He was a teenager and a student at that. Huang Bin had no grudge against him. Even if he had wanted to cripple him, he did not do anything about it. Under these circumstances, would a teenager plot against him? Not to mention Huang Bin, anyone else wouldn't have thought that way. When Wang Jinyang came to school, Fong Ping and the others had treated him to a drink. Would Wang Jinyang suspect that someone had poisoned his drink? If everyone was so paranoid, their mental state would have deteriorated a long time ago. Therefore, many of Fong Ping's cover-ups were actually useless. Huang Bin had never thought about this, so he drank the water naturally. He picked up the glass and took a big gulp. When martial artists drank water, they did not lick it in small mouthfuls like girls. after drinking the water. The glass was half empty. Fong Ping saw this and did not stay any longer. He said suddenly, "Oh no, I think I forgot to turn off the gas. Uncle, I'm going downstairs." Huang Bin could not wait for him to leave. He smiled and said, "Sure, come visit often when you're free." "Thank you, Uncle. I'll come back when I'm done." Huang Bin wanted to slap his own mouth. His mouth was King cheap. This kid was so friendly, yet he said such things. Was he out of his mind? Unfortunately, there was no cure for regret in this world. Huang Bin forced himself to say a few polite words before watching Fong Ping hurry out the door and down the stairs. After Fong Ping left, Huang Bin rubbed his temples. His mouth was dry, so he picked up the glass and took another sip. Shaking his head, he ignored Fong Ping and took out the package from under the sofa. Considering that the kid might come back later, Huang Bin took the package and entered the room just in case the kid saw it. Chapter 27. Downstairs. Fong Ping did not go home. Instead, he exited the building and found a place to hide outside the building. He was worried that the other party would not be affected by the drug, and realized that he had set him up so he would come downstairs to cause trouble. Fong Ping was still very wary of martial artists. His hand had slipped earlier, and he had poured all 3 bottles of medicine into the room. Theoretically, it would be a blessing if no lives were lost. However, martial artists could resist it. Fong Ping did not think anyone would die. Perhaps the other party still had some energy left. He would wait outside for now. He would go up and test the waters later. Unit 201. Huang Bin entered the room and hid the package. Suddenly, he felt his vision blur. He shook his head. Suddenly, he felt his legs go weak. He even had the urge to sit down. Oh no! The first thing that came to Huang Bin's mind was not Fong Ping, but the Department of Investigation Services of Sun City. He had been discovered and plotted against. How did the other party plot against him? The dizzy Huang Bin was terrified and in disbelief. He was sure that no one was monitoring him since he had moved here. He observed carefully every day before he left the house. The people in Sun City monitoring him could not escape his notice. It had been the same last time. He had quickly realized that the people in Sun City were monitoring him. Moreover, he had only gone out to buy breakfast this morning. Breakfast? Had he been drugged? It had been 2 to 3 hours since he had eaten breakfast. What kind of drug would take so long to take effect? Even now, Huang Bin did not think of Fong Ping. His head was heavy, so he did not have time to think. Feeling his limbs go weak, Huang Bin was already anxious. This could not go on. He bit his tongue hard, tasting the thick taste of blood in his mouth. Huang Bin could not care less. He turned around and picked up the package, then climbed to the windowsill with difficulty. When he looked, he saw that the window was installed with anti-theft windows. Mother asterisk cur. Huang Bin's head was splitting. His limbs were getting numb. He thought that the people from the Department of Investigation Services of Sun City might be waiting outside. He did not dare go through the front door. He could only jump out of the window and see if he could find a way out. Huang Bin struggled to move from his room to the living room. He hit his legs hard. He felt like he couldn't control his limbs anymore. That bastard Fong Ping had given her too many drugs. No matter how strong a martial artist's resistance was, Huang Bin was only a rank 2 martial artist. Fong Ping had used 10 times the amount of a normal person. If it were a normal person, they would probably have fainted from drooling. Huang Bin, on the other hand, could still move, which was a testament to his strength. Huang Bin had no time to be proud of his resistance. With his strong willpower and desire to survive, he finally moved to the balcony. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Bang, bang, bang. "Uncle, I'm going to watch TV." "Uncle, are you still home?" Huang Bin was in a daze, barely able to stay awake. Originally, he couldn't be bothered with the little fellow outside the door. At this time, he couldn't care less about hiding his identity. But all of a sudden, Huang Bin came to his senses. That's right, take hostages. At this time, even if he jumped out of the window, with the current situation, the possibility of him escaping was very low. However, as long as they had a hostage, especially one who was a Year 3 Martial Sciences candidate, the people of Sun City would not dare to ignore this kid's life. As if he was grasping at straws, Huang Bin used all his willpower to turn around and walk toward the door. Before the people from the Department of Investigation Services realized that he had fallen into a trap, he had to take down this kid first. At the door, Fong Ping continued knocking. After a while, there was no sound from inside. Fong Ping guessed that the guy must have fallen into a trap. Still, Fong Ping could not let his guard down completely. He held a not-so-thin wooden stick in his hand, which was behind his back. If no one opened the door, that would be the best. He could climb up from his own yard to take a look. If someone opened the door, then he would have to deal with it based on the situation. If the other party fell into the trap, then he would give him a blow based on the situation. If the other party did not fall into the trap, then he would say that the sewers were blocked, and he came up to unblock the pipes. Yes, unblock the pipes. Fong Ping encouraged himself. After planning out his next course of action, Fong Ping continued knocking and called out innocently, "Uncle, are you home? Don't tell me he went out. I'll come back later." Fong Ping muttered to himself when he suddenly heard light footsteps coming from the other side of the door. After a while, the door behind the anti-theft door was opened. Huang Bin's vision was so blurry that he could not even see the person outside clearly. He managed to mutter, Come in. Uncle, are you okay?" Fong Ping did not dare to go in now. He took a step back, subconsciously, and said cautiously, "You don't look so good. Are you sick?" Huang Bin felt like he was about to faint. He did not have time to talk nonsense with him. He opened the anti-theft door with difficulty. His breathing was heavy as he said, Come in. Uncle, do you want me to find a doctor for you? You can call the police. You don't look so good." Huang Bin's head was about to explode. Call the King police. This kid had been here for so long. The people from the Department of Investigation Services who were guarding downstairs might be coming up soon. While he still had some energy left, Huang Bin did not bother to say anything else. He reached out to grab Fong Ping. Fong Ping had been prepared for this. He quickly took a few steps back. Huang Bin was slightly stunned. Fong Ping also noticed that he was not in a good state. Needless to say, this guy had tried to grab him just now. It was obvious that he was not a good person. According to the logic of a good person, if he was not feeling well, the first thing he would do would be to ask Fong Ping to call a doctor. However, this guy wanted to grab him. If he was a good person, Fong Ping would have swallowed the staff in his hand. At this moment, Fong Ping was completely sure that all his previous guesses were true. He hesitated no more. There was a martial artist who wanted to cause trouble for him. He might even want his life. There was no need to be polite to people like this. His right hand, which was behind his back, lifted the staff and swung it at Huang Bin's head. "It's this little B** starred. That was Huang Bin's first reaction. The other party had been guarding against him and had even prepared a staff. Even if his mind was not in a clear state, he knew who had set him up. It was not an enemy, nor was it someone from the Department of Investigation Services. It was definitely not one of those foreign martial artists. Huang Bin had been tricked by a stupid kid. B** starred. He did not curse, nor did he have the time to. The moment Fong Ping's staff fell, Huang Bin raised his right hand, not to counterattack, but to block his head. If it had been any other time, he would have kicked Fong Ping to death the moment the staff had landed before he had even been hit. Now, however, his limbs were weak. The fact that he could still stand was a testament to his strong willpower. Bang! The staff did not hit Huang Bin's head. Instead, it hit Huang Bin's arm. The look in Fong Ping's eyes changed. If a normal person took a hit like that, it would be lucky if they did not break a bone. However, when his staff hit Huang Bin's arm, it was as if he had hit a cement floor. The staff bounced back. Although he did not know how terrifying martial artists were, Fong Ping realized how strong his opponent's physique was. These thoughts flashed through his mind. Fong Ping did not have time to think. He had not dared to use his full strength for fear of killing someone. He could not care less now. He pulled the staff back and swung it again with all his might. Bang! The staff was blocked by Huang Bin's arm again. The pain from the two hits helped Huang Bin shake off his stupor. When he thought about how he had been tricked by a stupid kid, Huang Bin was furious. He bit the tip of his tongue viciously. In an instant, Huang Bin seemed to have gained some motivation. He took a small step toward the door. Then, Huang Bin stopped defending himself. He swung his fists forward with all his might. He was a peak rank 2 martial artist. Even at this stage, he wanted this be asterisk starred to know that he could not trick martial artists. Naturally, Fong Ping saw his opponent move. There was no time to think. As Huang Bin swung his fists, Fong Ping swung his staff again. Kacha! Fong Ping's expression changed drastically. Huang Bin's fist looked slow. It did not even look like he was gathering strength. However, the staff in his hand broke when he swung his fist. The web between Fong Ping's thumb and forefinger was also hit by the rebound of the staff. His thumb and forefinger ached instantly, and his entire hand felt numb. Enduring the pain, Fong Ping did not dare to let go of the broken staff. He continued swinging the remaining half of the staff at Huang Bin's head. The blow just now had reached Huang Bin's limit. At this moment, Huang Bin could not feel the existence of his limbs. Bang! The staff hit Huang Bin's head for the first time. It did not break and bleed as Fong Ping had imagined. Huang Bin's head was tougher than the average person's. Fong Ping almost cursed in his heart. Was this a martial artist? Not only did he not faint after using so many drugs, he still had the strength to fight back. When he did not have the strength to fight back, his bones were tougher than the average person's. Fong Ping's hand was numb. He did not have time to think about this. Fong Ping used all his strength. His face was red as he swung the staff at Huang Bin again and again. At this moment, Fong Ping did not even think about whether he would kill Huang Bin. It was too terrifying. A person like this actually wanted to fight him. If he did not strike first to gain the upper hand, Huang Bin could have killed him with one slap. Huang Bin could no longer stand. Fong Ping swung the staff a few times. Huang Bin's legs gave out, and he collapsed to the ground. Huang Bin had not completely fainted yet. His eyes were wide open, glaring at Fong Ping as if he wanted to scare him away with his gaze. Fong Ping did not even look at his gaze. Even though the other had collapsed, Fong Ping still swung the remaining half of the staff at him. First, he hit the head. When he saw blood seeping out of Huang Bin's forehead, Fong Ping immediately changed his target. His hands, legs, chest. Fong Ping attacked every area that could possibly pose a threat to him again and again. In the corridor, only the dull sound of the staff hitting flesh and Fong Ping's heavy breathing could be heard. Fong Ping did not know how many times he had hit Huang Bin with the staff. He only stopped when his limbs had gone limp, panting heavily. Only then did Fong Ping look at Huang Bin. Huang Bin, who had collapsed to the ground, had a blood-red head. His limbs were spasming and twitching from the heavy blows. His chest rose and fell slightly, proving that he was still alive. Fong Ping panted for a while, feeling a lingering fear. He did not dare to imagine what would have happened if he had not drugged his opponent. It was not Fong Ping's first time fighting. This time, however, it was not a fight. He had hit someone who could not fight back. He had hit him until his limbs went limp, and he was panting heavily. This was really the first time. Fong Ping licked his dry lips and carefully kicked Huang Bin. The other party did not react. Fong Ping looked around. It was broad daylight, and everyone else had gone to work. The corridor was very quiet. He looked at Huang Bin, who had collapsed at the door. Fong Ping's head hurt. This guy was too dangerous. Would he wake up later? Without much hesitation, Fong Ping picked up the staff and hit Huang Bin a few more times. Huang Bin's body was only twitching. This confirmed Fong Ping's suspicions that the other party had no strength left. Fong Ping put down the staff and strode into the house. He dragged Huang Bin inside and quickly closed the door. In the room, Fong Ping looked around and found a blanket. He turned Huang Bin around and wrapped him in it. This method of binding the body was more reliable than using rope. Worried that one blanket was not enough, Fong Ping looked around and found another blanket. He wrapped Huang Bin in it again. Then he wrapped the blanket around him again, leaving only Huang Bin's head outside. Still worried that it was not enough, Fong Ping did not find rope on the second floor, but he did find a bundle of iron wire. Then Fong Ping wrapped the iron wire around the blanket and tied it tightly. He tied it round, and finally used a pair of pliers to twist the joint. Only then did Fong Ping wipe the sweat off his forehead. He panted and said, "If you can break free from this, then you're good." The other party's limbs were slightly fractured. He did not know if they were broken. Now that his limbs were tied up, there was no room for him to exert strength. He was wrapped in several layers, and the outermost layer was wrapped in iron wire. If the other party could break free like this, then he was really superhuman. After tying him up, Fong Ping stuck 5 or 6 layers of adhesive tape inside and out, sealing his mouth. At this time, Fong Ping suddenly felt that something was wrong. He mumbled, "Why do I feel like the villain?" He could not help but think that way. He had broken into someone's house, drugged them, beat them half to death, tied them up, and even sealed their mouths. Was that not something a villain would do? If Huang Bin was a woman, it would be even more believable. Fong Ping's cheeks twitched. If anyone barged in now, no one would think that he was a good person. He shook his head and stared at Huang Bin. Fong Ping's head hurt again. Now that the other party was in this state, it would not be easy to deal with him. He was now sure that this guy was a bad guy. However, if he could not find any evidence and just handed him over to the police, it would not just be a matter of criticism and education. Fong Ping had not planned to be ruthless at first. He just wanted to knock him out. However, the other party did not faint even after 10 times the dosage, and could even fight back. He had no choice but to be ruthless. This is going to be troublesome. Chapter 28, Unit 201. In the living room, looking at Huang Bin, who was tied up, Fong Ping felt a lingering fear. He blamed himself for being too impulsive. Although he had always suspected that the guy was a martial artist, he did not expect a martial artist to be this strong. To Fong Ping, Sun City was just a small place. Here, even a martial arts university student like Wang Jinyang was revered. Martial artists were rarely seen. That was why Fong Ping judged that even if the guy upstairs was a martial artist, he was not strong. How strong could a low-ranked martial artist who had just left the realm of normal people be? Knocking him out with 10 times the amount of knockout drug would be a piece of cake. The result was unexpected. Fong Ping was glad that he did not stay and chose to wait instead. Otherwise, if Huang Bin still had strength left, he would be in deep trouble. Thinking about this, Fong Ping sat on the floor and rested for a while. Then he got up and started searching the house. He was not sure if he could find any evidence of a crime. After all, the guy had just moved in. Regardless, he had to find a way to get out of this. If he really could not find it, Fong Ping was considering whether he should frame this guy. Modern society was not ancient times. If it were ancient times, no one would care if he was killed and thrown into a mass grave. Now that someone was dead, he had to investigate. As for how to frame him, Fong Ping was already considering whether he should hurt himself to gain the confidence of others. No one would believe that he could take down a martial artist so easily. They would not believe that he, a high school student, had nothing better to do than to scheme against a martial artist. Fong Ping stopped thinking about this and started searching the house. 10 minutes later, Fong Ping walked into the living room with a large package. Huang Bin had brought almost nothing of his own. Other than some daily necessities, he only had a change of clothes. In the end, Fong Ping found the parcel on the balcony. It seemed that this was Huang Bin's belongings. After staring at the package for a while, Fong Ping muttered to himself and unzipped it. The moment the zipper was undone, Fong Ping's pupils contracted. The first thing that caught his eye was a Mitsubishi military knife, almost 40 centimeters long. Someone from the military? Fong Ping gulped, but he quickly shook his head. Although the Mitsubishi bayonet was considered a military item, it had been gradually phased out by the military in recent years. There were still a lot of people selling these things. On the contrary, there were very few soldiers who carried such things. Exhaling slightly, Fong Ping reached out and took the general bayonet in his hand, sizing it up. Fong Ping could not help but glance at Huang Bin, who was wrapped up tightly when he saw some dried bloodstains in the blood groove. This guy might have killed someone before. Even if he hadn't killed anyone, this bayonet had seen blood. He carefully placed the stiletto aside, far away from Huang Bin. Fong Ping dared not let this guy have a chance to touch it. After removing the bayonet, what Fong Ping saw next was none other than the bright red banknotes in the bag. Stacks and stacks of bills were stuffed messily in the bag, while others were scattered. Fong Ping hurriedly took out the notes and counted them. There were 20 stacks of notes in total, which should be 200,000. On the other hand, there were less than 10,000 banknotes scattered around. Fong Ping did not count them in detail. These days, there weren't many people who carried so much cash. Other than some businessmen, very few people would carry such a large amount of cash outside, especially a renter like Huang Bin. Fong Ping completely ruled out the other party's military identity, and he was sure that he was not from the government. No one from the government would carry so much cash when they were being monitored. Lone traveler? Fugitive? These two identities were Fong Ping's first thought, carrying a large amount of cash outside, and considering Huang Bin's usual secretive behavior. Fong Ping felt that he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Huang Bin was probably not a decent person. A few minutes later, Fong Ping laid out all the loot in the bag in front of him. One Mitsubishi bayonet, less than 210,000 in cash, one set of clothes to change into. There were also some bottles and cans, 6 of them in total. 3 of them had advertising logos on them. They were similar to normal medicine bottles with the name of the medicine. 2 bottles of blood and cheer replenishing pills, and 1 bottle of vitality pills. There was the date of manufacture, the manufacturer, and the address of the manufacturer. They were legitimate, legal medicine. Fong Ping counted the blood and cheer replenishing pills. There were 18 pills in total from the 2 bottles. The medicine bottles were all packed with 10 pills, so Huang Bin must have eaten 2. There were 8 vitality pills left, and he had eaten 2 of them. Fong Ping's breathing was heavy. He had heard Wu Zhihao mention the names of the blood and cheer replenishing pills before. In a regular pharmacy, blood and cheer replenishing pills cost 30,000 yuan each, while vitality pills cost 100,000 yuan each. For Wu Zhihao and the others, buying a vitality pill before the Gaokao was their best bet. 100,000 yuan was not a small amount. Even Wu Zhihao's family would feel the pinch from buying such a pill. What about now? There were 18 blood and cheer replenishing pills and 8 vitality pills in front of him. According to the pharmacy's prices, these 2 pills alone would cost 34 million. Including the cash, the total value was more than 5 million. Not to forget, there were 3 bottles of items that Fong Ping did not recognize. Fong Ping opened them and looked at them for a while. They were also round pills. Obviously, they were also pills used by martial artists. However, these 3 bottles of pills did not have names. For a moment, Fong Ping could not guess what kind of pills these bottles contained. No matter what they were, they would not be cheap. The pills used by martial artists were very expensive. This could be seen from the vitality pills. Vitality pills were commonly used by martial science exam candidates who were not martial artists. The guy lying in front of him was a real martial artist, so the pills he used might be better and more expensive. Fong Ping's knowledge was too limited. He could not judge the value of these things in a short time. Apart from these, the rest were some food and mineral water, 6 bottles of pills, about 200,000 yuan in cash, and a military knife. These were the items Fong Ping had found so far. Fong Ping could not help but glance at Huang Bin. He had forgotten to search Huang Bin when he had tied him up. From the configuration of his bag, he had food and weapons, so there was a high chance that he would run away at any time. People like him usually did not keep their most precious items in their bags. After all, there was a chance that the bag could be discarded. Good things should be kept on him if they were not big. Fong Ping thought that this guy might still have other good things on him. However, Huang Bin was wrapped up in a few layers, so Fong Ping did not dare to let him go and search him. He turned his attention to the items in front of him. Fong Ping frowned slightly. He had the money. His wealth, however, did not increase. Logically speaking, the pills were also valuable. Similarly, his wealth did not increase. In that case, according to the system's judgment, these items still did not belong to Fong Ping. It made sense. These items still belonged to Huang Bin. Huang Bin was not dead, and he did not say that he would give these items to Fong Ping. Naturally, they belonged to Huang Bin. Even if Fong Ping got them, he would not be able to increase his wealth. Soon, Fong Ping thought that Huang Bin was now under his control. If he ate the pills, they would also be considered his. However, the system did not increase his wealth. This meant that money was not the same as wealth. Or perhaps the system did not encourage this kind of behavior? Fong Ping could not come to a conclusion at the moment. He shook his head and temporarily put these thoughts aside. His priority was not his wealth, but Huang Bin's. He had only found these items. Although he could tell from the weapons and cash that Huang Bin was not a good person, there was no direct evidence to prove that he was a bad person. Also, what should he do with these items that were worth more than 1,000,000 yuan? If he called the police, did he have to hand them all in? Fong Ping was reluctant. He wondered if he should keep some of them and hide them. After all, he had risked his life this time. In reality, he was not hurt at all. It was just that the web between his thumb and forefinger had cracked slightly when he was hacking at Huang Bin. A few minutes later, Fong Ping stuffed the items back into his bag. He looked at Huang Bin. After staring at the unconscious Huang Bin for a while, Fong Ping suddenly said, "Martial artists are really powerful. He drank so much medicine and was beaten up by me, but he woke up so quickly." Huang Bin did not move. Fong Ping sneered and said disdainfully, "Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? When he was unconscious, his breathing was erratic and his body was twitching. Now, he's not moving at all. He's pretending to be dead. Either he's really dead or he's awake. Don't you know what it means to bury one's head in the sand? If you didn't hold your breath, I wouldn't have noticed. You were breathing loudly just now, and now it's gone. Do you really think my ears are that bad?" There were only the two of them in the small living room. The room was so quiet that Huang Bin, whose mouth was gagged, was breathing loudly. However, in that instant, the sound had disappeared. Fong Ping was not deaf. Huang Bin probably did not realize that he had subconsciously held his breath when he was unconscious. He did not know that this was his biggest weakness. At Fong Ping's words, Huang Bin, who had been closing his eyes, slowly opened them. He scanned the visible area. Fong Ping was the only one there. Huang Bin let out a sigh of relief. It was much better than he had expected. He had thought that the moment he woke up, he would already be in the Department of Investigation Services. The person in front of him might be the fat guy from Sun City. In the end, there was only Fong Ping. This was the best ending he could have imagined. If he had entered the Department of Investigation Services, he would not have been able to escape in his previous state, much less in his current state. Now, he still had a chance to escape. His head was still swollen, and his body was covered in layers. Even Huang Bin could not break free. Thoughts spun rapidly in his mind. Huang Bin looked at Fong Ping, his eyes moving. At this moment, he could not open his mouth to speak. Fong Ping was wary. He took out his bayonet from his bag and kept a distance from him. "Do you want to talk? But I don't want to give you the chance to speak. I think it's better to hand a dangerous person like you over to the police." Woo-woo, Huang Bin struggled for a while. His head swayed, and he lifted his chin to point at the bag in front of Fong Ping. He saw that the bag was intact and thought that Fong Ping had not opened it. There was a lot of cash and pills that Fong Ping could use. Huang Bin thought that a child from a normal family like Fong Ping would be tempted. As long as he was given the chance to speak, he was confident that he could escape. Chapter 29. Fong Ping understood one thing. Villains die because they talked too much. Huang Bin wanted to say something, but he did not want the other party to say anything. However, he knew too little about many things. His status meant that he could not obtain any useful information. Even if he was unwilling, Fong Ping was prepared to let Huang Bin talk to him. He was not afraid of the guy's screams. He did not look like a good person. Otherwise, he would not have struggled when he said he would hand him over to the police. A few minutes later, Huang Bin began to pant violently. Fong Ping had wrapped him too tightly and sealed his mouth. His chest seemed to have fractured. This made it difficult for him to breathe. The first thing Huang Bin did after Fong Ping used the bayonet to prick a hole in the tape was to breathe. After panting for a while, Huang Bin turned his head to look at Fong Ping, who was walking away from him. His eyes were bloodshot. He did not expect to fall into this kid's hands. Huang Bin could not help but ask, "We have no grudges, right?" He could not understand why this kid wanted to hurt him. He could accept it if it was a martial artist, but the other party was not even one. Fong Ping did not answer him directly. He could not say that he had suspected the other party was going to hurt him, so he attacked first. In reality, Fong Ping had a vague feeling that he might have been mistaken. This guy might not have wanted to hurt him, but to hide his identity. Looking at the cash, weapons, food, and water he had prepared, it was more likely that he was a fugitive. Could Fong Ping admit that he had made a mistake? Though, when Huang Bin asked, Fong Ping said casually, "I'm a good student. Catching bad guys is our duty." Duty my ass. Huang Bin cursed in his heart. He had traveled far and wide, yet he had fallen into this little bastard's hands. He would not be satisfied even if he died. Fong Ping did not give him a chance to ask. He took out the bottles of pills from his bag. "What kind of medicine are these bottles of pills? Don't hide it from me. I can find out if you're lying." Huang Bin did not hide it. Just as Fong Ping said, he could find out if he wanted to. Huang Bin was relieved that the kid had his eyes on these things. It was good that he had something to ask for. 3 of them have labels. You should have seen them. 2 bottles of blood and chi replenishing pills and 1 bottle of vitality pills. Do martial artists need pills like this? Of course. Huang Bin immediately said, "These are all medicines to replenish vitality. Martial artists also need to replenish their vitality. It's impossible to replenish it with food every time. So most martial artists have blood and chi replenishing pills and blood and chi replenishing pills with them." Fong Ping understood. He picked up a slightly smaller medicine bottle and asked, "What's inside?" "This is also a vitality pill, but it's not the ordinary kind. It's a first-grade vitality pill." Huang Bin added, "High-grade vitality pills are mainly used for martial artists' final breakthroughs. A rank 1 vitality pill like this was a must-have for prospective martial artists. It was used when they were about to break through to martial artist. It could replenish more chi and blood. But for me, it's mainly used to replenish my chi and blood. It's much more useful than blood and chi replenishing pills and ordinary blood and chi replenishing pills during battles and long-distance raids." elixirs are divided into grades? Huang Bin didn't answer. This was nonsense. When he saw Fang Ping holding the bayonet and looking for a place to attack, Huang Bin said immediately, "There are different ranks. It's the same as martial artists." How much for one? There were not many rank 1 vitality pills. Fang Ping took a look and saw only 3. 300,000. Fang Ping felt a headache coming on. Martial artists really treated money like it was nothing. Just a pill could cost hundreds of thousands. The market price of blood and chi replenishing pills and ordinary blood and chi replenishing pills was 34 million. Including the 3 rank 1 vitality pills, that was 24 million. Fang Ping pointed at the remaining 2 bottles of pills. Huang Bin answered honestly, "One is a bone honing pill, and the other is a viscera shielding pill." There were even fewer pills in these 2 bottles. Although they were called bottles, there was only 1 pill in each. This time, Fang Ping didn't need to ask. Huang Bin said cooperatively, "Bone honing pill, as the name suggests, is a pill used to hone the strength of bones. Martial artists, especially low-ranked ones, mainly cultivated their skeletons. Only strong bones can support vitality outbursts. External training of muscles, bones, skin, and meridians are not considered serious injuries to martial artists. Only bones are different. They heal extremely slowly. That's why martial artists train their bones first. That way, whether it's vitality outbursts or normal cultivation, they won't hurt their bodies too badly. It's the same during battles. Bones are weak. If you punch and your bones break, you won't be able to continue fighting. Only with strong bones can one have a strong physique. Viscera shielding pill is also related to its name. It's mainly used to protect the internal organs. The human body's internal organs are very weak. Low-ranked martial artists can't cultivate their internal organs yet. At this time, it's fine for normal cultivation, but once you break through, the viscera shielding pill is very necessary. Without the viscera shielding pill to protect your internal organs, once your vitality outbursts exceed your limit, your internal organs will be damaged." After explaining for a while, Huang Bin said hurriedly, "These are the pills I used to break through to rank 3. They're extremely expensive. Whether it's the bone honing pill or the viscera shielding pill, they're both rank 2 pills. They're priceless. The cheaper bone honing pill costs $1 million. The viscera shielding pill is even more expensive. A rank 2 viscera shielding pill costs $2 million on the market." Fang Ping gulped and subconsciously held the 2 medicine bottles in his hands. A rank 2 bone honing pill cost $1 million, and rank 2 viscera shielding pill $2 million. Why did it feel like money was worthless? In reality, Huang Bin had obtained these 2 pills in preparation for breaking through to rank 3. Even martial artists from big companies, the government, and martial arts universities would not be so extravagant as to use these pills to cultivate, let alone casual martial artists like Huang Bin. 6 bottles of pills cost 24 million on the market. In reality, martial artists were cheaper when buying and selling pills. Institutions like martial arts universities were even cheaper when buying them. However, Huang Bin did not have these channels. If he bought them, the market price was the market price. Of course, most of the pills in Huang Bin's hands were robbed. He was already penniless because he wanted to break through to rank 2 from rank 1. Although he had saved up for the next few years, it was only enough for his daily expenses. For a martial arts university student like Wang Jinyang, 3 or 4 million might be enough to break through to rank 3. Huang Bin, on the other hand, would need at least 10 million to gather the necessary resources. Earning money was harder than spending it. Huang Bin had resorted to robbing because he was desperate and unwilling to give up. Wang Jinyang had said before that people like Fang Ping, who came from average families, would be even more desperate after passing the martial arts conference. Daily cultivation required money, replenishing vitality required money, and breaking through to the next rank required money. There was no such thing as free money. This was the reason why Li Yuanjiang, who got into Nanjiang Martial Arts University last time, could not break through to martial artist. A prospective martial artist needed at least a rank 1 vitality pill and a rank 1 bone honing pill to break through to martial artist. As for the viscera shielding pill, he did not need to prepare it. It was just a little dangerous. Those from good families could prepare it, and it was safer. Those from average families only needed to prepare a rank 1 vitality pill, but that was too risky. Many dared not try it. A rank 1 bone honing pill was worth 500,000. With the addition of a rank 1 vitality pill, that would be 800,000. Even in martial arts universities, the school would provide some resources at a much lower price, but the students would still need to prepare more than 300,000. This would be the first time, and prospective martial artists might not be able to break through on their first try. The school would not provide resources for a second try. Li Yuanjiang did not succeed on his first try, so he had to pay for his second try himself. For a martial arts university student who was not a martial artist, including daily expenses, he would need to prepare at least $1 million to break through again. If he was not a martial artist, how could he earn that much money? People like Wang Jinyang had broken through on their first try. Some of them only needed 1 vitality pill. The resources provided by the school were more than enough. Once they became martial artists, they would have a way to earn money. This was the main reason why the strong became stronger and the weak became weaker. If they could not take the first step, it was normal for some martial arts university students to not become martial artists even after graduation. Fang Ping had gained some information from Huang Bin's words. Not only was this guy a martial artist, but he was also not a rank 1 martial artist. He was a rank 2 martial artist who was ready to break through. Fang Ping felt a lingering fear when he thought of this. He had been too impulsive. Impulsiveness was the devil. He had to be more careful next time. Huang Bin's eyes flashed when he saw Fang Ping clenching the bottle tightly. He said in a low voice, "These are all yours now, including the cash in the bag. They're worth more than 5 million. But if you hand me over to the police or the Department of Investigation Services, they'll definitely take these things away." At that moment, Huang Bin's only thought was not to be sent to the police station by Fang Ping. The police station was full of normal people, so he was not afraid. However, a wanted criminal like him had a record in the police station. As long as he was recognized, he would be transferred to the Department of Investigation Services immediately. Once he entered the Department of Investigation Services, even a rank 4 would have to kneel before him in their lair, much less a rank 2. Now, he could only tempt them with benefits. Wealth of more than 5 million. Had this kid ever seen so much money in his life? Noticing Fang Ping's silence, Huang Bin said immediately, "Don't even think about silencing me. The clues I've set up can only divert the authorities' attention for 10 days to half a month at most. In a few more days, the other party will definitely find me. If I die, you won't be able to escape. You're still young, and you have a bright future ahead of you. I can see that your vitality is very high, and there's hope for you to enter the martial sciences. If you perish together with me, the losses outweigh the gains. If you let me go now, I'll leave immediately and leave all these things to you. You don't have to worry about your safety. I won't take revenge." Huang Bin continued, "You can arrange for someone to wait at the entrance of the police station or call the police at any time. If I wanted to take revenge on you, I wouldn't be able to escape. If something happens to you, Sun City will definitely lock me down and capture me. Therefore, I will not take such a risk. My life is more important than money. I haven't lived long enough." What do you think? Huang Bin's words were sincere. Most of them were true. As for the fact that he would not take revenge, Huang Bin did not believe it himself. This time, he had been tricked by this kid. If he did not kill this guy, he would not be able to rest easy for the rest of his life. Just as Huang Bin was waiting for Fang Ping to speak, Fang Ping suddenly laughed. "You still have some good stuff on you. don't you? Maybe even more valuable than these pills. TSK, TSK. Rank 2 martial artist carrying around items worth tens of millions. Martial artists are so *king rich. The corner of Huang Bin's mouth twitched. At a time like this, Fong Ping was still in the mood to care about money. Chapter 30. Huang Bin desperately wanted to escape, but he refused to admit that he had something better on him. Naturally, Huang Bin denied Fong Ping's words. Fong Ping did not mind. He tapped the floor lightly with his bayonet and asked after some thought, "Looks like you've committed some serious crimes. You've killed a lot of people, haven't you?" Huang Bin did not answer. For this kind of matter, a bad answer could cause a huge unforeseen event. Seeing that he did not answer, Fong Ping did not pursue the matter. He had already made up his mind. Right now, he was not too interested in this. After a moment of thought, Fong Ping finally asked about what he was most interested in. "I'll ask you another question. If I'm satisfied with your answer, I might consider what you said earlier." Huang Bin said cautiously, "Ask away. What is a martial artist?" This question was very childish. Many people would laugh if they heard it. How laughable was it for someone who did not even know what a martial artist was to pursue the path of martial arts? However, Huang Bin was not in the mood to laugh. Aside from true martial artists or those who had learned from their families, how many people knew what a true martial artist was? Fong Ping was not asking about martial artists, but how to become one. The standards and the definition of a martial artist, these were actually secrets. There were many reasons why the government did not announce this information to the public. Under normal circumstances, one would only find out after getting into a martial arts university. If it were Wang Jinyang, he would probably say, "You'll understand when you get into a martial arts university." However, Huang Bin was not Wang Jinyang. He did not even care about himself now, let alone these not-so-secret secrets. He wanted to trick Fong Ping once, but he remembered that Fong Ping was still far from becoming a martial artist. Who knew how long it would take for him to break through? There was no point in lying now. Thinking of this, Huang Bin said honestly, "Martial artists are actually a group of ordinary people who have broken through their physical limits. The key to becoming a martial artist is to break through your limits." Let's not talk about middle-ranked and high-ranked martial artists. They're still far away from you. Let's talk about low-ranked martial artists first. I told you before that low-ranked martial artists focus on honing their bones, followed by changing their muscles and refining their skin. As for vitality, it's the foundation of training their muscles, bones, and skin. In conclusion, a strong vitality is the foundation, and strong bones are the qualifications to break through to become a martial artist. As Huang Bin explained, Fong Ping gradually understood the path of a martial artist. At the same time, Fong Ping could not help but recall what Wang Jinyang had said. When they went to pick up Wang Jinyang, Yang Jian, and the others were discussing the martial artists who were taking the college entrance examination. Back then, Wang Jinyang had mentioned that these people were not only talented, but also had a family background. Almost all of them had a rank for martial artist backing them up. He had not understood what it meant before, but now he did. According to Huang Bin, there were at least 3 conditions to become a martial artist. First, vitality. Students enrolled in the martial sciences examinations usually had a vitality of at least 110 calories, but that did not mean that they were martial artists. To become a martial artist, one's vitality had to be at least 150 calories. Of course, it would be better if his vitality was higher, but it could not be higher than 200 calories otherwise. With an aspiring martial artist physique, it would not be a good thing if his vitality was too intense. Second, bone strength. If an ordinary person wanted to break through to become a martial artist, their bones would need to be strong enough to at least be able to adapt to the vitality outburst after the breakthrough. However, bone tempering was not something that could be done simply by taking medicine. it required a professional cultivation technique. This was also the third condition, cultivation technique. A basic cultivation technique would generally have the effect of training one's qi, blood, and bones. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult for a normal person to increase their vitality to 120 calories purely by taking supplements. There was no way they would have the chance to increase it to more than 150 calories. Of course, cultivation techniques also required a basic foundation. Usually, a vitality of at least 110 calories could only be cultivated. Otherwise, if one did not have enough vitality, it was more likely that they would become sickly after cultivating and hurt their bodies. This was also the reason why martial arts universities required students to have high vitality every year. However, cultivation techniques could not be passed down easily. Unless one was a rank for martial artist, cultivation techniques were not allowed to be passed down. If they were, it would be against the law. When Huangbin mentioned this, there was not much resentment. Instead, there was a look of understanding on his face. Why was it that only rank for martial artists could pass it down? It was not a restriction on low-ranked martial artists and normal people, but it was for protection. When a prospective martial artist broke through to a martial artist, the vitality outburst would be very powerful. Without a middle-ranked martial artist to guide and watch over them, the slightest carelessness could cause their blood vessels to burst and their vitality to rush to their organs. At best, they would be heavily injured. At worst, they would lose their lives. Martial arts training classes in society required one to be a rank for martial artist and above. This was also to prevent cultivation techniques from being passed down. Without guidance and protection, it was extremely dangerous. In the past few years, there were actually no restrictions on the spread of cultivation techniques. However, many normal people obtained cultivation techniques and took a risk to become martial artists. Every year, many people lost their lives. Naturally, there were people who succeeded, but they were in the minority. Out of 100 people who practiced cultivation techniques, less than 1% could break through to become a martial artist without any guidance. The others either did not dare to continue cultivating, or their blood vessels burst when they were cultivating or breaking through. Moreover, many normal people did not have the vitality to reach the standard. If they cultivated in advance, they would eventually hurt their foundation and could not be replenished. Modern times were not like ancient times. Human life was still very important. To prevent this from happening, the spread of cultivation techniques was restricted. Only martial artists above rank had the ability to watch over and suppress normal people when they were breaking through. Therefore, in the end, the government made a series of actions, including the rule that the legal person of martial arts training classes had to be at least rank 4. When normal people broke through to a martial artist, unless they did not have this condition or had no other choice, they would let a rank for martial artist hold the line. Martial arts training classes were extremely expensive. The cultivation techniques were not the main thing. The key was the guarantee of safety. Those who signed up for training classes had the right to ask a rank for martial artists to watch over them when they were breaking through. If the breakthrough was not successful, a rank for martial artist could help suppress a potential martial artist's vitality outburst. In martial arts universities, it was almost the same situation. When students were breaking through, they could ask for a rank for martial artist or above to hold the line. Vitality, bone strength, and cultivation techniques were the 3 prerequisites. Other than that, there were resources including vitality pills, bone honing pills, viscera shielding pills, and so on. Those with good conditions would prepare more, and those with poor conditions would prepare less. Therefore, if there were no rank for martial artists in the family, very few people would become martial artists before Gaokao. It was too risky. Even rank 3 martial artists could not suppress a martial artist's vitality when they failed to break through and prevent their body from exploding. After listening to this, Fong Ping frowned slightly. So, without a rank for martial artists present, Normal people can't become martial artists. Huang Bin knew what Fong Ping was thinking too well. It was not just Fong Ping's thoughts. Normal people did not want to become martial artists. Otherwise, there would not have been a ban on cultivation techniques. It was because there were too many people like this, and rank for martial artists were not cabbages. Many people risked their lives, causing cultivation techniques to be banned. If it was Huang Bin's family or children, of course, Huang Bin would make it clear. Even if he broke through rank 3 and his children wanted to break through, he would pay a price to find a rank for martial artist to hold the line. Who was Fong Ping, though? He was the enemy who set him up. Therefore, when Fong Ping asked, Huang Bin quickly said, "It's not that only rank for martial artists can do it. As long as the foundation is strong, there are some risks, but not too much. In the past, not everyone had a rank for martial artists to protect them. Most of the older martial artists relied on themselves. As long as they can break through in one go, there won't be any danger. Many geniuses don't need protection at all, because these people can succeed in one go." After saying that, Huang Bin looked at Fong Ping. It was obvious that he was saying, "You are a genius. Don't be afraid. Break through directly. You won't die." Young people did not know their place, thinking that they were one of a kind. Young people should be flattered. If you flattered them, they would be happy. If you belittled them, they would be unhappy, thinking that you were looking down on them. Huang Bin understood the thoughts of these young people. After all, he was once a young person. In the past, Huang Bin, was full of confidence, thinking that he could break through successfully without anyone to protect him. However, he did not consider that even the students in martial arts universities had a 50% chance of failing to break through every year. Huang Bin had almost lost his life when he was in the martial arts training class. Even now, he still had lingering fears. If Fong Ping wanted to try, Huang Bin would be happy to see it happen. Of course, the kid had to survive until then. Seeing that he was inquiring about martial artists, Huang Bin could not wait for the kid to break through immediately. It would be best if he died. Unfortunately, the kid was not qualified yet. He did not even have the chance to break through. Fong Ping was not really 17 or 18 years old. How could he not understand this guy's thoughts? He sneered in his heart. To be honest, Fong Ping did have this thought in mind. He did not know if he was a genius, but he had a cheat. He could barely be considered a genius, right? However, he was still far from breaking through to martial artist. So Fong Ping did not think too much about it. If he got into a martial arts university, he would have instructors to protect him. So Fong Ping did not have to take the risk. As he thought about this, Fong Ping asked again, "Do you have a cultivation method?" "Yes." Huang Bin's answer was straightforward. He said immediately, most low-ranked martial artists cultivate basic cultivation methods. The martial arts training class and martial arts university's basic cultivation methods are almost the same. Even if there are differences, it's usually in the order of honing. There are many bones in the human body. Some cultivation methods hone the legs first, while others hone the hands and arms first. There's not much of a difference. It's just a matter of the order. Bone honing isn't something that can be done overnight. When a prospective martial artist breaks through to a martial artist, the bones are only slightly strengthened. Low-ranked martial artists, even rank 3, are always honing their bones. Then what about your cultivation method? A hint of a smile appeared in Huang Bin's eyes. He continued, "I've read basic cultivation methods for 20 years. I've memorized them by heart. Naturally, I don't have to carry any secret manuals with me. The cultivation method is in my head. If you let me go, I'll give you the cultivation method immediately." Fong Ping believed him when he said he did not have any secret manuals with him. If he did, Fong Ping would have discovered it long ago. However, even if Huang Bin had given it to Fong Ping, he would not have trusted him if he had asked him to memorize and copy it. He stopped asking about the cultivation method. Right now, Fong Ping was thinking about how to deal with this guy. Kill him? Just as Huang Bin said, The Sun City officials would find out sooner or later. After all, this guy was hiding. It looked like he was avoiding capture. Also, even if Fong Ping's mental age was older than he was now, he had done bad things, but he had never killed anyone. Fong Ping would not dare to kill Huang Bin even if he did. If he did not kill him, though, this guy was a rank 2 martial artist. It was too dangerous. He could only send him to the police station. The key was Fong Ping glanced at the package in front of him. If he sent the guy away, would the police leave these things for him? Stop joking. There were a few million worth of valuables. Some things could not even be bought with money, such as the bone-honing pill and viscera-shielding pill. These were things that Fong Ping could not buy even if he wanted to. How should he deal with Huang Bin? Fong Ping had a headache. This guy was a hot potato. He would definitely send him away. The key was how he would do it. He could not just send him to the police station. If that happened, he might not even get a cent. He was a normal person. How could he have the chance to bargain with the officials? After thinking for a while, Fong Ping came to a decision. Ignoring Huang Bin's expectant face, Fong Ping searched for a while and found the broken wooden stick he had thrown earlier. When he saw Fong Ping pick up the stick and walk toward him, Huang Bin's expression darkened. He said nervously, What are you doing? You're too dangerous. Being unconscious is better than being awake. Don't come near me. Don't scream. If someone hears you, you'll be in a worse state than you are now. Huang Bin wanted to scream. He wanted to scream, but when he thought of the possibility of attracting attention, he did not dare to scream. If he did not dare to scream, Fong Ping would not pity him. Bang! The wooden stick hit his head again. At that moment, Huang Bin wanted to die. He wanted to faint even more. Even if he pretended to faint, Fong Ping did not hold back. He hit him 5 or 6 times in a row. Fong Ping only stopped when Huang Bin's moans became weak and feeble. Chapter 31. A few minutes later, Fong Ping walked out of Unit 201. He closed the door, still carrying a black plastic bag in his hand. He did not take the cash, nor did he take the military knife. He only brought the 6 bottles of pills with him. The pills were extremely expensive. Fong Ping did not feel safe leaving them here. If a thief took them away, he would not even have a place to cry. As for Huang Bin, Fong Ping gagged him again and shoved him under the bed. Fong Ping frowned slightly as he walked out of the district. I've brought the pills, but they're not counted as wealth. Is it because I haven't met the requirements, or are these items not counted as wealth, but cash? It shouldn't be a problem with the cash. After all, I took the cash just now. Fong Ping pondered for a moment. He guessed that the money and pills did not completely belong to him yet. After all, if this matter was not handled properly, the money might not belong to him in the end. His wealth did not increase, but Fong Ping was not in a hurry. The most important thing now was to deal with Huang Bin. He had arrested him. According to the original plan, he would have sent him directly to the police station. Now, however, Fong Ping was not willing to send him in just like that. Huang Bin was not a mute. If he went in, he would take everything away. He could not withstand the pressure from the police now. Fong Ping thought about it and decided that he had to find someone to help share the burden. If worse came to worse, they could split the loot together. If Fong Ping had the ability to settle the aftermath, he would naturally take everything for himself. Currently, he lacked the ability to do so. The only thing he could do now was to cut his losses. It was better than getting nothing at all. Who could share the burden? Wang Jinyang's figure flashed across Fong Ping's mind. He had no other choice. It was not that he knew Wang Jinyang was after Huang Bin. He was the only martial artist Fong Ping knew. If he was not a martial artist, he would not have the ability to withstand the pressure, be it from his parents, his teachers, or anyone else Fong Ping knew. Of all the people he knew, the only one who had the ability and hoped to keep the loot was Wang Jinyang. Also, Wang Jinyang was a martial arts university student. This was an important identity. Fong Ping had interacted with him for a while, but he did not know him well. From their conversation, though, he could tell that Wang Jinyang was not a bad person. Even if they did not split the loot evenly, it was possible that the guy would take everything for himself. He was a martial arts university student and an official martial artist with a bright future ahead of him. For the sake of a few million, the possibility of him killing himself and taking everything for himself was not high. The most serious consequence was that Wang Jinyang would take all the benefits for himself. It was slightly better. Wang Jinyang would eat the most, so he should at least leave some benefits for him. If it was any better, it would be as Fong Ping had predicted. Everyone would split it equally. To Fong Ping, this was the best outcome. Fong Ping made up his mind after he had thought through everything and made sure that his own safety was guaranteed. At that moment, Fong Ping's only thought was that he was still too weak. If he was a little stronger and became a martial artist, so what if he swallowed it all for himself? He had caught a fugitive and accidentally killed him. That was justifiable self-defense. How could the Sun City officials find trouble with him? There weren't many martial artists in Sun City, so they were highly respected. Even if he knew that Zhang Xian had taken advantage of him, he wouldn't make it public. But now he was just an ordinary senior high school student who would take him seriously. It did not matter if Wang Bin was dead or sent to the police station. As long as they found out that he was related to Fong Ping would not be able to take advantage of him. At most, he would give him a reward for being a good Samaritan. Compared to a few million in wealth, though, the reward was nothing. Fong Ping did not care for it. 10 minutes later, it was past 11 in the morning. Number 1 high school. The last class had ended. Wu Shihao had just stepped out of the classroom when he saw Fong Ping, who had taken the morning off, waving at him. Wu Shihao walked over and asked curiously, "Fong Ping, are you sick? Teacher said you weren't feeling well this morning." "I'm fine. I've been training too much. I'll be fine after some rest." Fong Ping did not say much. He said immediately, "Didn't you have Brother Wang's phone number when we picked him up? Do you still have it?" Of course. Wu Shihao had a phone. The school had given him Wang Jinyang's number when they picked him up, so it would be easier to pick him up. Wang Jinyang was a martial artist. It was not easy to get his number. How could Wu Shihao not keep it? "That's good. Can I borrow your phone for a while?" "You," Wu Shihao said uncertainly, "you're not going to call Brother Wang, are you?" "Yes. I have something I need Brother Wang's help with." Wu Shihao was shocked. He quickly advised, "Fong Ping, Brother Wang is a martial artist after all. He's polite to us, but for no reason at all." Fong Ping knew what he meant. He smiled and said, "Don't worry. It's something good. If you're worried, just give me his number. I'll call him myself." Wu Shihao was hesitant. In the end, he took out his phone from his pocket and handed it to Fong Ping. "Go ahead, but make sure you say something polite. If Brother Wang doesn't help, don't mind him. Don't offend him. Am I that stupid?" Fong Ping laughed. He took the phone and quickly flipped through the contact list. When he saw the name Brother Wang Jinyang, he dialed the number immediately. White Mountains. The mountain entrance to Sun City. Wang Jinyang had entered the mountains in the afternoon of the 9th. By the evening of the 10th, he had almost covered the entire mountain range in Sun City. Needless to say, he had found nothing. Considering that he still had to return to school, Wang Jinyang had no choice but to leave the mountains, even though he was a little disappointed. Wang Jinyang, who had just left White Mountains, looked tired and gloomy. He had wasted 3 days this time. Other than a small reward in number 1 high school, he did not get the big reward. He did not get the 500,000 reward. It would take him some time to gather the resources on his own. He might not be able to break through to rank 3 by the end of the semester. Wang Jinyang exhaled. He was not someone who would worry about personal gains and losses. He would just find some more missions to take on. Carrying his backpack, Wang Jinyang prepared to go home first. He would take the bus back to school at night. Just as he reached the road at the mountain entrance, his phone vibrated in his backpack. Wang Jinyang did not use this phone often. Since he had entered the mountains to catch criminals, he had kept it in his backpack. The vibration was weak. If he was not a martial artist, he would not have felt it. If he was still in the mountains, Wang Jinyang would not have picked it up. Those who knew this phone number were not important people anyway. Since he had nothing else to do, Wang Jinyang opened his backpack and took out his phone. He glanced at the number. It was a local number in Sun City. He did not know if it was from the school or some business owner in Sun City. After some thought, Wang Jinyang answered the call. "Brother Wang." Wang Jinyang raised his eyebrows slightly when he heard the voice on the other end of the line. He was not that forgetful. It had only been 2 or 3 days. Even if the voice was a little distorted, Wang Jinyang could still recognize who the other party was. It was the junior who had benefited from the misfortune and increased his vitality. "It's me, Junior Fong Ping." Fong Ping went straight to the point. "Brother Wang, I have something to trouble you. If it's convenient, can you come back to Sun City for a bit?" Wang Jinyang frowned slightly. He did not say that he was still in Sun City. He smiled faintly. "I wonder why you're looking for me, Junior Fong Ping. If it's convenient, we can talk on the phone. This is a little troublesome. Actually, I don't know if Brother Wang will help, but Brother Wang is the only martial artist I know. It's not convenient to talk about it over the phone, but I think I met a guy who seems to be a fugitive and accidentally hurt him. There's a little problem now. I don't know if I should hand him over to the police. But I'm afraid that if I hurt him, there will be trouble later. After all, my Gao Cao is coming soon. If I miss it," Fong Ping said a few words and did not say anything else. Wang Jinyang would only help if he had nothing better to do. However, Fong Ping did not go into too much detail. His main intention was to ask for help. This was also Fong Ping's little test. He wanted to test Wang Jinyang's temperament and whether he had the ability to settle the trouble later. After Fong Ping finished speaking, Wang Jinyang's brow twitched suddenly. He was very sensitive to the word fugitive. In an instant, he thought of Huang Bin. It was impossible, though. Huang Bin was a peak rank 2 martial artist. Even Wang Jinyang had to be careful if he met him. When Fong Ping said that he had hurt the other party, Wang Jinyang subconsciously eliminated Huang Bin. If he had returned to River City and Nanjiang Martial Arts University, Wang Jinyang would not have interfered. He and Fong Ping were not that close. However, he was in Sun City now. Fong Ping's vitality was not low, so there was hope for him to enter the martial sciences. If everything went smoothly, Wang Jinyang might be admitted to Nanjiang Martial Arts University this year. Doing him a favor was not out of the question. As he thought about this, Wang Jinyang said readily, "I think I know what happened. How about this? I'm still in Sun City. Let's find a place, and you can tell me in detail. If it's not too much trouble, I'll help you call the police." He had to go to the Department of Investigation Services. Although he had not caught the person, he still had to give them a heads up. If Fong Ping's matter was not too serious, he could talk to the fatty. If the fatty said something, injuring a fugitive would not be a big deal. Of course, if the matter was troublesome, Wang Jinyang would not be overly involved. He and Fong Ping were not that close. It was already good enough for him to call the police on Fong Ping's behalf. At the staircase of No. 1 High School, Fong Ping hung up the phone with a smile on his face. He did not expect Wang Jinyang to still be in Sun City. This was much more convenient. Also, he did not mention the wealth. He only said that he wanted Wang Jinyang's help. He did not expect Wang Jinyang to agree so readily. At this moment, Fong Ping felt much better. With Wang Jinyang's personality, even if he took the lion's share, he would still leave some soup for Fong Ping. This might be the best outcome so far. "I still can't bear to part with it," Fong Ping muttered and shook his head. He could not help it. At this moment, the consequences of taking all the benefits for himself were severe. Fong Ping gritted his teeth at the thought. He must pass the martial sciences exams this time. Chapter 32. At 1:20 p.m. In a milk tea shop near number 1 middle school. Fong Ping actually wanted to find a coffee shop, but Sun City's economy was mediocre at this time. He looked around the vicinity of number 1 high school, but did not see any coffee shops. Considering that he was still a student, he chose the milk tea house in the end. Fong Ping had been waiting here for almost half an hour. After finishing another glass of orange juice, Fong Ping raised his head to look outside the door. He suddenly stood up and shouted, "Brother Wang, over here!" Outside the door, Wang Jinyang smiled and walked toward Fong Ping. Fong Ping stood up hurriedly to welcome him. He ordered a glass of lemon juice from the waitress at the bar counter before inviting Wang Jinyang to sit down with him. Wang Jinyang could not help but smile when he saw this. This junior of his was much more mature than the average high school student. As soon as the two of them sat down, Fong Ping did not mince his words. "Brother Wang, I'm actually quite surprised that you could come this time. I called you just to give it a try. I didn't expect Brother Wang to really come." Wang Jinyang wasn't in a hurry to speak. After the waiter served the lemon juice, he smiled and said, "It just so happens to be in Yang City. It's on the way. Also, don't mind me. To be honest, if things are simple, I can help out a little. If the problem is a little troublesome, I'm afraid I won't be able to help much. It's my duty." Fong Ping nodded. This was inevitable. He was not Brother Wang Jinyang's friend. They had only met once. He stopped beating around the bush and went straight to the point. "Brother Wang, I'll be straightforward. What I said on the phone before wasn't a lie. However, the matter is much more complicated than what I said. The guy I injured, if it was just a simple injury, I would have called the police directly. As for the follow-up questions, I don't think it's that difficult. After all, he's a bad guy. Since I caught him, the police should reward me." Wang Jinyang nodded slightly and took a sip of lemon juice. He smiled faintly and said, "Go on. That's not the point. That guy is not simple. He's the same type of person as you, Brother Wang." Wang Jinyang's heart skipped a beat, but he did not speak. Instead, he lifted his head to look at Fong Ping, signaling for him to continue. "That guy was subdued by me and injured. I've hidden him somewhere. I found a lot of good stuff at the scene, the value of which is beyond my imagination. I won't play dumb with Brother Wang. I want to take some for myself, but I'm afraid it won't end well. This is the main reason I asked Brother Wang to come." Wang Jinyang's eyes flickered. His junior was much bolder than he had imagined. The people who were the same as him should be martial artists. He had captured a martial artist and was tempted by the riches. He did not want to hand them over to the police, as he was afraid that he would not be able to keep them safe. Wang Jinyang thought for a while and understood why Fong Ping was looking for him. Fong Ping wanted to keep it for himself, but he was afraid that there would be trouble in the future, so he wanted him to take the blame. It was not that this was impossible, but the key was the size of the benefits. Wang Jinyang tapped the table lightly. He was not a stubborn old man. After a moment of silence, he said in a low voice, "I won't ask how you took him down. I'll just ask a few questions. First, are you sure he's someone like me? Second, are you sure it's a bad guy? Thirdly, how valuable is it? Fourth, how are you going to split it?" If the benefits were too small, Wang Jinyang did not plan to interfere. If the other party was a good person, then he would be breaking the law. Even if he did not take Fong Ping to the police station, he would not be in cahoots with Fong Ping. Breaking the law for a bit of money was not something he would do, because it was not worth it. Therefore, he had to clarify these things first. "I'm sure he's someone like you. I can't say for sure if he's a bad person, but there's a 90% chance that he's not dead. He even asked me not to take him to the police station. As for how much he'll gain," Fong Ping stretched out his palm. 500,000? Wang Jinyang lowered his voice. He did not expect it to be 50,000. He was a martial artist. If Fong Ping really wanted such a small amount of money, he would be an idiot to ask him. 10 times. Cough, cough. Wang Jinyang was shocked. 5 million was a huge sum, even to him. 5 million. Martial artist. Suddenly, Wang Jinyang's expression changed. It was not that there were no martial artists with 5 million on them. The martial artists in Sun City probably all had that much. Most importantly, Fong Ping had said that the other party was a fugitive. The thoughts that he had cast aside earlier flashed across his mind. Sun City did not have that many martial artists who broke the law. Although martial artists were not rare, Sun City was only a small city. How could there be such a coincidence? A middle-aged man in his early 40s, about 175 centimeters tall. He looks honest and simple. This was what Wang Jinyang had said. Fong Ping's eyes moved slightly when he heard this. After a while, he nodded and said, "Not bad. Brother Wang, you know him?" "Phew." Wang Jinyang was stunned. "Who did this kid catch? Are you King kidding me? Was he injured beforehand?" "No, you're not kidding me. Are you?" This time, Wang Jinyang said it out loud. If Fong Ping was not lying, then the other party was Huang Bin, a peak rank 2 martial artist who might have even broken through to rank 3, a powerhouse like that had been caught by a high school student. Wang Jinyang believed that Fong Ping would take advantage of him if he was seriously injured. However, an uninjured martial artist who was at least peak rank 2 would be caught by Fong Ping? Seeing his shock, Fong Ping laughed dryly. It was an accident. It was all an accident. Before he could finish, Wang Jinyang stood up abruptly, his eyes bright. "Let's go. We'll talk as we walk. Bring me there." He did not ask any more. He would know the truth when he saw the person in person. As for the matter of splitting the loot, he would wait and see first. All right. Fong Ping was not an irresolute person. At this point, he could only take a gamble. On the way, Wang Jinyang asked a few questions and confirmed that the other party was Huang Bin. Even though Fong Ping had already told him how he had taken down the other party, Wang Jinyang still could not believe it. A peak rank 2 martial artist had been taken down, just like that. A few bottles of knockout drugs and a few $100 had taken down a peak rank 2 martial artist. Huang Bin could really go and die. Thinking about himself, his strength was almost on par with Huang Bin's. Did that not mean that if he had been in Huang Bin's shoes, he would have fallen for Fong Ping's trick as well? Just thinking about it made Wang Jinyang shudder. When he looked at Fong Ping again, his expression was a little strange and scary. If word got out, Huang Bin would probably become the biggest joke in the martial arts world. As for Fong Ping, even if he did not become a martial artist, he would still make a name for himself in the small circle. 10 minutes later, the two of them arrived at Lakeview Gardens. Unit 201. Wang Jinyang's eyes twitched as he watched Fong Ping drag Huang Bin out from under the bed like he was dragging a dead dog. It was Huang Bin. Even though the other party's face was covered in blood, Wang Jinyang could still recognize him after seeing his photo. A peak rank 2 martial artist had really fallen at Fong Ping's hands. Wang Jinyang did not rush to look at Huang Bin. He looked at Fong Ping, and for the first time, his tone was so complicated that he could not help but speak. "Fong Ping, I've only admired a few people in my life. You're one of them. Amazing." Other than the word amazing, he really could not describe his feelings. Mother****, a peak rank 2 martial artist, had been beaten like a dead dog by a normal person. If everyone was like Fong Ping, why would they still practice martial arts? Fong Ping laughed dryly. What a surprise. "Brother Wang, you know this guy. He's a bad guy, right?" "Yes, a fugitive." Wang Jinyang did not hide it. He smiled bitterly. A fugitive with 3 lives on his hands. And not just any murder case. The 3 people who died in his hands were 2 rank 1 and 1 rank 2. All 3 of them were martial artists. If those three fellows in the underworld knew that you've taken down their enemy, not even their coffins would be able to hold them down." As he said this, Huang Bin, who was lying on the ground, began to struggle violently before Fong Ping could say anything. Right now, Huang Bin was glaring at Fong Ping fiercely. He knew that he was in deep trouble. A guy who could tell him about his past. A guy who was so full of vigor that he felt he was slightly inferior to him. What else could he be other than a martial artist? Falling into Fong Ping's hands and falling into the hands of a martial artist were two completely different concepts. This time, he had really fallen into his grandmother's hands. As Huang Bin struggled, Wang Jinyang, who had been friendly with Fong Ping, suddenly gave him a sidekick. Fong Ping did not even see him move. All he saw was Huang Bin being kicked far away. Wang Jinyang stared at Huang Bin calmly. He said mildly, "I came for you. I chased you around the White Mountains for a few days, but I didn't expect you to be hiding here. Man proposes, God disposes. You managed to avoid me, but now you've fallen here. If I were you, I'd be better off dead than alive." Huang Bin's bloodshot eyes gradually dimmed. Wang Jinyang was right. It was better to fall into Wang Jinyang's hands than to fall into Fong Ping's hands. Wang Jinyang did not bother with him after that. He looked at Fong Ping and asked, "What did he bring?" "Blood and chi-replenishing pills, vitality pills, a bone-honing pill, and a viscera-shielding pill." Fong Ping did not hide anything, but he did not mention the grade. In fact, even if he did not say it, Wang Jinyang could roughly guess. After all, Fong Ping had mentioned the value of the pills, and that Huang Bin was preparing to break through to rank 3. Wang Jinyang was in no hurry to speak. He quickly thought about how to split the spoils. At this time, Fong Ping added, "He might have some other things on him, but I didn't dare to search him." It was not that he did not dare to search him, but that he had forgotten when he was unconscious. He did not dare to let go of the guy afterward, so naturally he could not search him. Wang Jinyang's eyes lit up. His breathing quickened as he said, "Before you knocked him out, he probably wasn't prepared, right?" This was actually nonsense. If he had been prepared, Fong Ping would be the one dead now. However, Wang Jinyang was indeed a little excited. After all, Huang Bin had been preparing to break through to rank 3. To break through to rank 3, other than pills, he had to prepare other things. Those were the most valuable items. He did not think about these things before, because people like Huang Bin would not leave anything for their opponents, even if they had to destroy something when they were faced with certain death. This time, however, Fong Ping had taken him by surprise. Huang Bin might not have destroyed these things. Otherwise, Fong Ping would not have gotten the pills. Without waiting for Fong Ping to speak, Wang Jinyang walked toward Huang Bin. Chapter 33. A few minutes later, Huang Bin was no longer restrained, but he lay motionless on the ground. Only his chest rose and fell slightly. As for Wang Jinyang, he found something that looked like a piece of jade on the man's body and stuffed it into his pocket. He stood up and walked up to Fong Ping. After some consideration, he said, "You won't be able to use the rank 2 bone-honing pill and viscera-shielding pill. I'll give you a rank 1 bone-honing pill and viscera-shielding pill. You can use them when you're breaking through. Of course, the value is quite different." Wang Jinyang looked at him for a while. After some thought, he said, "I can compensate you with 1 million in cash, the combined market price of the rank 2 bone-honing pill, and viscera-shielding pill was 3 million. If they were rank 1 pills, the bone-honing pill would cost 500,000, and the viscera-shielding pill would cost about 1 million. In other words, Wang Jinyang had taken away 9 million, and he had compensated Fong Ping with 1 million. In reality, he had taken away less than 1 million in resources. However, he could still exchange Huang Bin's resources for the 500,000 bounty. As for whether Sun City's Department of Investigation Services would ask him for these spoils, Wang Jinyang did not even consider it. Huang Bin did not have the chance to ask either. Of course, Wang Jinyang did not mention what he had taken away. When Fang Ping heard that, he did not mention what Wang Jinyang had taken away. He said quickly, "No need, Brother Wang. Doesn't that mean you're taking much less than me?" Wang Jinyang gave him a long look. After a while, he said, "You're a smart man. We'll definitely meet again in the future. There are some things that I'll make clear today, lest we become enemies in the future. Pills and such are not cheap, but I can still afford them. I'm on the verge of breaking through. I can prepare the pills myself, but I'm still lacking something. It's expensive. Even I can't afford it for now. What I took just now is that thing, but you won't be able to use it now. You won't be able to use the rank 2 pills either. If you use them, you'll attract attention, so it's just right for me. Don't worry, though. After I break through, it'll be much easier to gather resources. If you need them in the future, you can come to me. If you agree, you don't have to worry about Huang Bin anymore. Just leave it to me." Actually, Fang Ping was already prepared. He would just pretend that he did not know. However, since Wang Jinyang had said it himself, Fang Ping did not hesitate. He nodded and said, "Then I won't be unreasonable. Without Brother Wang's help, I'm afraid I won't be able to get anything." "Ha ha, not really." No matter how stingy Yang City was, they still had a reward of 80,000 to 100,000 yuan, but being too eye-catching might not be a good thing. Fang Ping agreed, and Wang Jinyang smiled happily. Fang Ping would not be able to do anything even if he took everything for himself. However, this fellow, a high school student, had plotted to bring down a peak rank 2 martial artist. He was also a ruthless character. If his vitality was not weak and he was courageous enough, the probability of him passing the martial sciences exam was very high. This time, for the sake of a few million, he had pocketed all these items. In the future, he might become Fang Ping's enemy. When he broke through to rank 3, a few million would not be a lot of money. Was it really necessary to offend such a ruthless person for this bit of money? Moreover, he had also gotten what he wanted. It was more and better than he had expected. Fang Ping saw how happy he was. After some thought, he said, "Brother Wang, I don't want the 1 million. I want a basic cultivation method." "Cultivation method?" Wang Jinyang raised his eyebrows and nodded. "Basic cultivation methods aren't worth much. Once you enter martial arts university, everyone will have one. Although it's not allowed to be taught to outsiders, it's not a big deal if you do. Now that you have pills, money, and a cultivation method, it's not a big deal to prepare for breaking through to a martial artist in the future. However, I have to remind you that without guidance, you can easily run into problems if you cultivate recklessly. Of course, if you have any doubts, you can call me. However, I'm going to break through soon, so I might not have much time to answer your questions." After some reminders, Wang Jinyang said no more. Fang Ping was not stupid. Even a fool would not be able to take down Huang Bin. It was enough for him to get the gist of what he wanted. "I'll transfer the 1 million to you later. Transfer or cash is fine. I don't have the cultivation method manual with me now. I'll mail it to you when I get back to River City." As for the pills, Fang Ping did not wait for him to finish. He took out 2 bottles containing rank 2 bone honing pills and viscera shielding pills and passed them to Wang Jinyang. Wang Jinyang did not stand on ceremony. He took the bottles and opened them. His eyes shone with joy. He had the pills and the other necessities. Now, everything was ready. All he had to do was to break through. When he returned to the university, he would apply for some resources. His preparations would be better and better than before. Breaking through to rank 3 had been a little difficult, but now he was very confident. Rank 3 in a year. Thinking of this, Wang Jinyang's eyes shone brighter. How many people in the whole of Nanjiang Martial Arts University, including the seniors, would be able to suppress him? After taking the pills from Fang Ping, Wang Jinyang took out 2 pills from his bag and gave them to Fang Ping. rank 1 bone honing pills, and viscera shielding pills. After the two of them had discussed the conditions, Wang Jinyang walked to Huang Bin and looked at him for a while. After some thought, he turned to Fang Ping and said, "You can leave now. I'll deal with this guy tonight." Fang Ping hesitated, then said in a low voice, "Sun City, he won't have a chance to speak. Woo woo." Huang Bin, who had just woken up from his coma, struggled to get up when he heard this. Wang Jinyang ignored him. He clenched his right fist and punched Huang Bin's head, saying mildly, "Murder. Resisting arrest, shot dead on the spot." Fang Ping felt a chill in his heart and nodded. He did not look at Huang Bin, nor did he care if he was dead or alive. He picked up the bag he did not take with him and was about to leave. When he was about to leave, Wang Jinyang said suddenly, "After the martial sciences exam, even if you've reached a higher score than Nanjiang Martial Arts University, as long as you're not one of the big two, it's best to apply to Nanjiang Martial Arts University. If I break through this year, I'll compete for the position of the Martial Arts Society president next semester. If Governor General Zhang breaks through again and increases the university's cultivation resources, I'll take care of you." Fang Ping nodded again. Wang Jinyang was not weak. At least he was not afraid of Huang Bin. According to Fang Ping's analysis, he should be breaking through to rank 3 this time as well. A rank 3 martial artist should not be weak among the students. Having someone he knew to take care of him was indeed better than applying to other martial arts universities. As for the big two, Fang Ping did not think about it. It was too difficult. Even if he worked hard, the possibility of getting in was not high unless he became a martial artist before the martial sciences exam. It would not matter if his cultural studies were slightly worse. However, there were only 20 days left. Fang Ping did not think he could break through. "Thank you. I think Brother Wang will see me at Nanjiang Martial Arts University next semester." "Okay, I'll wait for you outside the door." Fang Ping suppressed his other thoughts and stopped thinking about Huang Bin. This guy was dead meat. As for whether he deserved to die or not, Fang Ping did not think about it. What Wang Jinyang had said earlier had helped Fang Ping understand some things. Martial artists were all fighting for it, fighting for status, fighting for resources, fighting to become stronger. In order to reap the benefits, Wang Jinyang had no qualms about giving Huang Bin a chance to speak. As for the officials, if Fang Ping took all the benefits, they would ask for it. However, if Wang Jinyang took all the benefits, who would bring it up when there was no concrete evidence and no witnesses? The difference was due to the difference in strength and status between the two parties. Without strength and status, one would not have the right to speak. Fang Ping shook his head and pushed these thoughts aside. He began to calculate his gains this time. 18 blood and chi replenishing pills, 8 normal vitality pills, 3 rank 1 vitality pills, 1 rank 1 bone honing pill, and 1 viscera shielding pill. Other than that, Huang Bin had more than 200,000 in cash. Wang Jinyang would transfer 1 million to him and a cultivation manual. The total market value of the pills was as high as 34 million. 2 million in cash. Even excluding the cultivation manual, Fang Ping's gains this time were as high as 5 million. Killing and arson, gold belt, Fang Ping mumbled. He had not even killed anyone yet, but he had already gotten so much money in one go. These were not all of Fang Ping's gains. Just now, Fang Ping realized that his wealth had changed. Wealth, 2403800 vitality. 1. 2 mentality. 1. It was a strange wealth. Even without the 1 million that Wang Jinyang had yet to transfer, according to Fang Ping's calculations, it should be around 5 million. Now, however, he had lost 1 million. Fang Ping guessed that the system calculated the relative value. The market value of these pills was around 3 million, but it did not mean that they were really worth that much. Before Fong Ping sold them and exchanged them for cash, the value of the pills was not fixed. For people like Wang Jinyang, it was much cheaper to buy them from the university. As for casual martial artists, it was much more expensive to buy them through other channels. Therefore, the system calculated the relative value and not the market price. The value of the pills had been deducted by 1/3. If that was the case, it should be about right. It's an assembly line product, but it pretends to be an intelligent product. Bad review, Fong Ping mumbled, but his face was full of joy. 2 million wealth. If he added the 1 million that Wang Jinyang had transferred, even Fong Ping himself did not expect that he would obtain so many wealth points in such a short time. Chapter 34. Fong Ping was excited about his gains. Then his expression changed and he hurriedly picked up his bag and walked home. Room 101. In the small room, Fong Ping's expression was bitter. He cursed in his heart, "I knew you weren't reliable. You really are. Don't tell me he got greedy and pocketed my wealth." Just now, just as he was getting excited, the 3 lines of data in his vision suddenly disappeared. It was very sudden. It was like a power outage. Nothing could be seen. Fong Ping felt that there was something wrong with this broken system when it did not give him an instruction manual. Now, he had finally collected more than 2 million wealth points. He hadn't even had the chance to enjoy it when it was all gone. If this wasn't an attempt to run away with the money, what else could it be? Fong Ping cursed in his heart, but he refused to give up. He widened his eyes and stared at the black screen in front of him. Just as Fong Ping's eyes were about to burst into tears, the blackened panel in his vision flashed. Soon, the 3 rows of data appeared again. Only then did Fong Ping heave a sigh of relief. He rubbed his eyes and cursed in his heart, "You can just F*** level up. Can't you at least inform me? Are you trying to scare me?" Fong Ping was getting more and more dissatisfied with this broken system. It was one thing that he did not have an instruction manual, but to appear and disappear as he pleased. Who did he think he was? Cursing aside, Fong Ping still focused on the 3 rows of data that had just appeared. Wealth, 2403800 vitality, 121 cow mentality, 110 hertz. It wasn't a big change, just a change in data. A small vitality measuring machine has become a large vitality chamber. Fong Ping secretly calculated the effects of such a change. The most basic point was that it saved the cost of going to the hospital for a checkup. The upgrade this time was probably because his wealth had reached a certain level and it had upgraded from the basic version to the precise version. Very quickly, Fong Ping thought of a second use. The previous increments were all based on 0. 10,000 wealth points could increase 10 calories of vitality. Now, can you increase your wealth by 1,000 points by 1 calorie? After some thought, Fong Ping decided that he should give it a try. He hesitated no more. Now that he was rich, he did not care about 1,000 wealth. He silently thought about increasing his vitality by 1 calorie. Soon, the data in front of him changed. Wealth, 2402800 vitality, 122 cow mentality, 110 hertz. As expected, Fong Ping was overjoyed. It could work. The new data was not as simple as saving the cost of a vitality check. Instead, it allowed Fong Ping to understand the condition of his body more directly. For example, every time Fong Ping leveled up, it was in units of 10 calories. Last time, his body almost couldn't meet the requirements, and he was in so much pain that he wanted to die. That was because he had advanced too much at once, causing his body to be unable to keep up. Things were different now. Fong Ping could not feel it too strongly with the increase of 1 calorie. He could control his body more effectively and avoid situations where his blood vessels burst. Other than that, Fong Ping quickly thought of another benefit. It would be more effective in preventing the secret from being discovered. A martial artist like Wang Jinyang would be able to sense the difference very quickly if his vitality increased by 10 calories in one go. Just like before, Fong Ping had no choice but to find an excuse to fool them. If it was an increase of 1 or 2 cal, the increase would not be too obvious, and Wang Jinyang would not have noticed it. Fortunately, Fong Ping did not come into contact with many martial artists. Currently, Wang Jinyang was the only one. However, once he entered a martial arts university, there would be many martial artists by his side. In the end, you disappeared for one night and suddenly increased your vitality by 10 calories. It was normal for people to find out that something was wrong. If 10 calories was converted to a week or 10 days and he slowly increased it, the probability of finding out was not high. Fong Ping was very satisfied after he thought it through. The effect of the upgrade this time was not bad. Even the units could be instantiated. This is a good thing. At least it's reliable. Fong Ping praised the system in his heart. He could not help but curse in his heart. It was also a money-hungry thing. When he had no money, it did not even give him an instruction manual. He had to figure everything out by himself. Now that his wealth had increased, even the specific units were displayed. What a snob! The data reappeared, but Fong Ping was not in a hurry to increase his mentality. Wang Jinyang was still upstairs. If he increased it now, any abnormalities would be easily discovered. It would not be too late to make use of him after he left. Considering that Wang Jinyang was upstairs, and that there was also a dead man above him, Fong Ping was a little nervous. He did not stay at home for long. After hiding the cash, Fong Ping took the pills with him and went to school with his backpack. On his way, Fong Ping was still thinking about whether to buy a house or rent it. His house was too small. His parents were fine. They usually would not go into his room to look around. That unreliable Fong Yuan, however, was too curious. From time to time, she would go into his room to look for snacks, comic books, fun toys, in short. That girl was interested in everything. Now, including the 20,000 his parents had given him, he had a total of more than 220,000 in cash in his room. Although he had hidden it, 220,000 was not a piece of paper. It would be hard to say if that girl found it. I have to get a bank card later, Fong Ping muttered. After all, Wang Jinyang's 1 million had not been transferred to him. He had to get a card as soon as possible, lest that guy forgot about it when he went back to break through in seclusion. Next, he would cultivate his cultivation methods and train his body. His house was not good either. He could not always train in the yard. When he had no money, Fong Ping did not think about this. Now that he had money, it was necessary to get a secret nest for himself. Rent or buy a house. Making a mental note of this, Fong Ping planned to look for one this Sunday. After spending the whole afternoon in school, Fong Ping hurried home after school. He was a little worried. He was still hiding the cash in his house, and he was afraid that Fong Yuan would find it. However, when he reached his house, Fong Ping's face turned green. Compared to Fong Yuan finding the money, something worse seemed to have happened. In the corridor, in front of Fong Ping's house, someone Fong Ping did not expect to see was standing there. It was Wang Jinyang. Although Wang Jinyang said that he would leave at night, Fong Ping thought that the guy would not go out during the day. Who would have thought that he would walk out of his house in broad daylight? If Wang Jinyang was alone, Fong Ping would not have minded. However, Wang Jinyang was chatting with Fong Yuan. Fong Ping felt a headache coming on. He hurried over. Wang Jinyang, who was talking, saw Fong Ping and nodded with a smile. Fong Yuan, on the other hand, was grinning from ear to ear. The moment she saw Fong Ping, she said happily, "Fong Ping, you're back." "Yes, what are you guys doing?" "Fong Ping, don't you think it's a coincidence that I bumped into Senior Wang's?" Fong Yuan was very excited. Then she asked curiously, "Don't you know him?" Fong Ping's expression turned bitter. Of course he knew him. More importantly, why were the two of them chatting together? And that bastard Wang Jinyang. Why did you come downstairs instead of guarding the corpses obediently? Fong Yuan could not hide her words. She ignored Fong Ping's confusion and said happily, I bumped into Senior Wang outside when I came back just now. Fong Ping, I didn't expect Senior Wang to have relatives staying here. If it wasn't for my classmate showing off Senior Wang's autographed photo to me yesterday, I wouldn't have recognized him. I said it was a pity that I didn't bump into Senior Wang. I didn't expect to bump into him today. Fong Ping, you lied to me last time, saying that Senior Wang had left. Fong Ping's face turned even greener. It was because he had told a lie that he thought was perfect. He thought that his family would not have any contact with Wang Jinyang in the future. So he said that Wang Jinyang was the one who sold him the pills. If his sister brought it up now, he would be exposed. However, judging by Fong Yuan's excited expression, she probably did not have the time to bring it up. Fong Ping said hurriedly, Don't disturb Brother Wang. He's busy. Go inside first. Fong Yuan's joyful expression fell instantly. She mumbled, No, Senior Wang didn't say he was busy. Go back. Don't embarrass me. Your brother. Fong Ping scolded her hurriedly. Then he laughed dryly at Wang Jinyang. My sister insisted that I get your autograph last time. She even said that she could sell a few hundred for some money. Fong Ping could only change the topic now. Wang Jinyang could not help but laugh when he heard that. Fong Yuan glared at Fong Ping, gritting her teeth. What a jerk! She had even planned to ask Wang Jinyang for an autograph later. Now that her brother had said that, the little girl was too embarrassed to admit it. She shook her head at Wang Jinyang hurriedly. Then she opened the door and entered the house quickly. You guys talk. I'm going to do my homework. Bang! The sound of the door closing was loud. The little girl was obviously angry that Fong Ping had ruined her plan. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. He could not help but look at Wang Jinyang. Why was this guy out in broad daylight? As if reading his mind, Wang Jinyang chuckled. Don't be nervous. I'm not a bad guy. If it weren't for the fact that I'm worried that people would be scared to see me in broad daylight, I could even carry it out right now. Fong Ping laughed dryly and did not say anything. It was rare for Wang Jinyang to explain. I don't have a duffel bag. It's not convenient. I went out to buy a duffel bag and some fast food. He even waved the fast food in his hand at Fong Ping. When he mentioned a duffel bag, Fong Ping did not need to think to know what it was for. However, when he mentioned fast food, Fong Ping's scalp went numb. Was there something wrong with this guy? You might as well finish eating outside. Why did you buy fast food? Don't forget, there's a corpse upstairs. Fong Ping thought that this guy was a little perverted when he thought about how he was enjoying Huang Bin's corpse while eating. Wang Jinyang did not feel that way. He chuckled. I met your sister on the way. She's quite an interesting girl. Don't you dare have any ideas about my sister, Fong Ping blurted out. Wang Jinyang was stunned for a moment. Then the corner of his mouth twitched. You're a siscon, aren't you? Of course. Mother asterisk cur. There are tons of pretty girls chasing after me in martial arts universities. There are even more from other schools. Beautiful instructors, class belle, rich heiresses. Since when did he, Wang Jinyang, stoop so low as to hit on a little girl? Fong Yuan had recognized him earlier and chattered to him like they were old friends. Wang Jinyang only thought it was interesting. Since they were going the same way, Wang Jinyang did not avoid her. However, this Fong Ping dared to question his character. Wang Jinyang looked at Fong Ping unkindly. Fong Ping looked embarrassed. It was a habit, just a habit. In his past life, there were many guys who had ideas about his sister. Fong Ping had helped Fong Yuan deal with them many times. When Wang Jinyang said this just now, he subconsciously said this. They stared at each other for a moment. Wang Jinyang laughed and said, I'll leave tonight. I'm going back to martial arts university tomorrow. I hope it won't be too long before we meet again. You're very interesting. Bold, meticulous, ruthless, and knew when to give and take. That was Wang Jinyang's impression of Fong Ping. That was why Wang Jinyang was quite interested in Fong Ping. He wanted to know if the guy would do something more interesting after he became a martial artist. Fong Ping smiled and nodded without saying anything else. Wang Jinyang did not stay for long. He carried the fast food and went upstairs slowly. After he left, Fong Ping exhaled softly. Wang Jinyang was a martial artist after all. No matter how friendly he appeared, Fong Ping still felt pressured. In the dead of night, when he heard the faint sound of the door closing upstairs, Fong Ping, who was pretending to read in his room, mumbled, "He's finally gone." Wang Jinyang did not leave, so he felt pressured. Chapter 35. Night. Not long after Wang Jinyang left, Fong Ping began to increase his strength. Soon, the data in front of Fong Ping changed. Wealth: 2370800 vitality, 124 cow mentality, 140 hertz. After spending more than 30,000 wealth points, Fong Ping increased his vitality and mentality to the maximum. His vitality of 124 calories made him feel like his blood vessels were about to explode. His mentality of 140 hertz also made his head feel cool at first, but now it felt heavy and painful. Fong Ping knew that this was his current limit, so he did not dare to increase it further. The slightly drowsy Fong Ping did not test the effects of increasing his mentality at night. He chose to sleep first. The next day, April 12th, Saturday, Fong Ping did not feel tired at all. When he woke up, he only felt refreshed. Even the air was much fresher. He did not laze in bed like before. Fong Ping did not even think about lazing in bed now. He got up and washed up. After washing up, Fong Ping banged on Fong Yuan's door and yelled, "Wake up! I'm going to be late." "Fong Yuan, why are you still sleeping? Your face is getting rounder the longer you sleep." Fong Ping knocked on the door violently. Fong Yuan yawned and opened the door with half-closed eyes. She gave Fong Ping a dissatisfied look and walked to the bathroom as usual. Fong Yuan was still drowsy when she washed up. Something was not right. As for what exactly was wrong, she couldn't figure it out. After washing up, she returned to the living room and saw Fong Ping eating. Fong Yuan sat opposite him and yawned, propping her chin. "Fong Ping, I think I forgot something." "What is it?" Fong Ping pretended not to know what was going on and brushed her off. "Yeah, what is it?" The girl fell into deep thought. Did she forget to ask Wang Jinyang for his autograph? Or did she forget to do her homework? Homework, that's right. Fong Yuan seemed to remember something. She looked at Fong Ping unkindly and said through gritted teeth, "Fong Ping, what day is it today?" "I forgot." "It's Saturday." Fong Yuan's face puffed up in anger. She said angrily, "You have class on Saturday." "I don't." "Why did you call me?" Fong Ping was very calm. He said casually, "I forgot, didn't I? Besides, waking up early is good for your health. I'm doing this for your own good." "This is infuriating." The girl bared her fangs and brandished her claws, ready to fight Fong Ping to the death. A few minutes later, Fong Yuan covered her reddened cheeks and glared at Fong Ping angrily. His battle prowess was inferior, so he didn't manage to settle the score. Instead, his round face was pinched even rounder. Fong Ping was in a good mood after teasing her for a while. He did not continue to make her angry. Fong Ping fished out 100 yuan bill from his pocket and handed it to Fong Yuan as she stared at him in shock. "It's a holiday today. Don't just stay at home. I'm going out with my classmates to relax." There was still more than 220,000 in cash at home. Fong Ping took more than 20,000 and carried it with him. The remaining 200,000 yuan was still in his room. He was worried that this lass had nothing to do at home and would go to his room to explore his secrets, so he sent her away first. When he was on holiday tomorrow, he would deal with the cash. Whether it was buying a house or saving it in the bank, he couldn't just leave it at home. Fong Ping took out $100. To him, it was very, very little. However, for Fong Yuan, she had never received so much pocket money before. Other than during Chinese New Year, the little girl had never had more than $100 on her. Today, her stingy older brother had given her $100 to go out and play. The sun has risen from the west. Fong Yuan looked shocked. She could not help but ask, Fong Ping, you haven't recovered from your illness from yesterday? Fong Ping's expression darkened. He said impatiently, do you want it or not? So you've done something bad. Are you trying to bribe me? If you don't want it, I'll take it back. I want it. Fong Yuan snatched the bill from Fong Ping's hand, her face full of joy. Then she chattered, did Mom give it to you? Mom's so biased. She always gives you more than me. Fong Ping, you really gave it to me? You're not going to go back later. Are you? How about I give you $10 for lunch? Fong Ping pretended not to hear her and continued to eat his breakfast. When he was done, Fong Ping grabbed his bag and stood up. I'm going out for a walk to relax. Have a good lunch. Oh, you're not allowed to go out with boys. Only girls. Pfft, why do you have to go out with boys? Fong Yuan looked at him as if she was determined to go against him. Fong Ping did not mind. He pursed his lips and said, I was just saying, which boy in your class is willing to go out with round face? It's not embarrassing enough. Fong Ping, one should not hit someone in the face, and one should not expose their shortcomings when scolding someone. However, Fong Ping had exposed their shortcomings. Fong Yuan was so angry that she wanted to smack him on the head. After teasing Fong Yuan for a while, Fong Ping grabbed his bag and walked out the door cheerfully before the little girl exploded in anger. Number 1 High School, Senior 3 Class 4. It had to be said that the martial science candidates were very hardworking. At least they came to school early. Fong Ping realized that every time he came, the other martial science exam candidates would have already arrived. The moment he arrived, he heard loudmouth Zhang Hao say excitedly, Zhou Bin went for a vitality test yesterday. 125 calories. That's amazing. Maybe someone from number 1 high school will get into the Big 2 this year. Last year, the Big 2's admission standard was 125 calories, right? Zhang Hao asked. Big Beard Yang Jian nodded quickly and said, Magic City Martial Arts University's admission standard was 125 calories last year. Zhang Hao naturally knew that. He had only asked this to get someone to cooperate with him. When he heard this, he smiled quickly and said, there's still some time before the physical assessment. Take another vitality pill before the exam. I suspect that Zhou Bin's vitality test result will be 128 calories. God, can Zhou Bin really get into the Big 2? If he does, number 1 high school will be famous. Zhang Hao danced with joy. He was as excited as if his vitality had reached 125 calories. The other martial science candidates were either envious or nervous. Most of the normal social sciences candidates were envious, but they were not nervous. It had nothing to do with them anyway. Fong Ping, on the other hand, did not feel much when he walked in. Zhou Bin was the most powerful candidate in number 1 high school, but his vitality was only 125 calories. Fong Ping, on the other hand, had 124 calories. The difference between them was only 1 calorie, almost negligible. Fong Ping also had a lot of wealth. If his body could keep up, surpassing the other would be child's play. In reality, Fong Ping did not want to compete with these students at all. He was thinking about Wang Jinyang. Wang Jinyang was only 1 year older than him, but he was already preparing to break through to rank 3. Compared to Wang Jinyang, these Year 3 students would not attract Fong Ping's attention, no matter how high their vitality was. Fong Ping ignored their discussion. He picked up his book and started reading. He had been too tired the night before. He did not even have time to test the effects of his mentality increase. Vitality was not a problem for him. to pass the martial sciences exams. Fong Ping's difficulty lay in his cultural studies. If his mentality increase was effective, it would be the foundation for him to pass the martial sciences exams. Fong Ping did not want to join the discussion, but Yang Jian, who was sitting in front of him, could not help but turn around and ask, "Fong Ping, how many cal is your vitality now?" "I don't know. I didn't check it." Yang Jian was itching to know, but he did not really want to ask Fong Ping how much. Hearing Fong Ping's words, Yang Jian smiled sheepishly and said, "Last night, my dad insisted that I go to the hospital to check it out. I went with him, and my vitality increased by 1 calorie. It's 113 calories now." Fong Ping rolled his eyes. If he wanted to show off, then show off. Could he not smile sheepishly like an idiot? "Fong Ping, do you think I can reach 115 calories if I take some medicine during the physical assessment?" "Fong Ping, you're probably higher than me. Why don't you go for the test tomorrow?" "Fong Ping." Fong Ping's head hurt. This bearded man was too talkative. He did not listen to his nonsense. Fong Ping lowered his head and started reading, experiencing the effects of his mentality increase. After the morning reading session, Fong Ping closed his book and closed his eyes to think. The effects were not bad. Fong Ping did not know if 140 Hz mentality was considered powerful. The effects were obvious, though. His brain was exceptionally clear and active. Fong Ping had learned all the high school knowledge before. His results were not bad, so this could be considered revision. However, he had put it aside for many years. Revision was a process that required time. Now, however, Fong Ping's ability to understand and accept the knowledge he had learned was much stronger than a few days ago. He could recall much of the knowledge he had forgotten. This was still 140 Hz. After a few days, when he had gotten used to his current mentality, he would make some more improvements. When that time came, the effects would be even better. Fong Ping felt that he had already moved the last brick in the martial sciences exams. For the entire morning, Fong Ping absorbed the new and old knowledge hungrily. During his lunch break, Fong Ping went out for a while. He spent $10 on a bank card. He spent 1,200 yuan to buy a mobile phone and 100 yuan to get a SIM card. Without a cell phone, it was inconvenient to do many things. The first thing Fong Ping did after getting his cell phone and activating the SIM card was to text Wang Jinyang, Nanjiang Martial Arts University. Wang Jinyang, who had just arrived at the university, saw the string of numbers on his phone screen and laughed. "This guy is interesting." Fong Ping had been so polite yesterday that he did not want the 1 million. Even if he wanted it, there was no hurry. Brother Wang could transfer the money whenever he was free. All in all, his words were very pleasant. However, less than a day had passed, and the guy had already sent him his card number. After laughing for a while, Wang Jinyang did not want to go back on his word. He went to the university bank and completed the transfer. In martial arts universities, 1 million was not a lot. It was not uncommon for the internal banks of martial arts universities to have hundreds of millions of transactions every day. After settling the matter of money, Wang Jinyang packed some of his teaching materials and a basic cultivation method book and sent it to Fong Ping by courier. He was not worried about losing it. It was fine even if he did. Without the foundation, cultivating recklessly would be suicide. At most, he would send Fong Ping another copy. Far away in Sun City, Fong Ping saw the notification on his phone. He could not contain his joy. How bright! Old Wang was indeed a straightforward person, even though the guy might have earned more than him this time. Chapter 36. After receiving Wang Jinyang's transfer of 1 million, Fong Ping's wealth had reached 37 million. Even if he increased his mentality and vitality to 200, it would only cost him a few 100,000 wealth. Fong Ping was overjoyed. Of course, his joy did not last long. Soon, Fong Ping felt an invisible wave of malice. How can a snob make me feel so good? Fong Ping muttered to himself. He felt that the source of this malice was the unreliable snobbish system. Although it was only intuition, Fong Ping felt that intuition was still very reliable. Fong Ping was overjoyed at the increase in his wealth and funds. Fong Ping was looking forward to Wang Jinyang's subsequent text. The item has been delivered. Make sure to receive it. It was a short sentence, but Fong Ping read it again and again. Compared to money, Fong Ping was more interested in cultivation methods. It was not like he did not have money in his past life. Although it was not much, Fong Ping had earned quite a lot over the years. However, Fong Ping had never seen any cultivation methods other than those sold at street stalls. Even if he saw one, he would not cultivate it. No one would take it seriously. Fong Ping could not wait to get his hands on the package when he thought about the day after tomorrow. After school in the afternoon, Fong Ping rejected Wu Zhihao and the others' invitation to train together. Fong Ping was still familiarizing himself with his body and digesting what he had learned. Working out with them didn't help much. Fong Ping walked away alone. One of the students from class 4 said uncomfortably, "Fong Ping is quite arrogant." Wu Zhihao did not mind. He smiled and said, "It's fine if he doesn't want to go. He never joined our activities before. He's probably used to it." After he said that, the others did not say anything else. The student who had spoken earlier asked curiously, "Zhihao, how high do you think his vitality is?" Everyone knew that Fong Ping's vitality had increased again. After all, Yang Xian was the only one who could not keep his mouth shut among the other three. Even Wang Jinyang had praised Fong Ping, so his vitality was not low. Wu Zhihao thought for a moment and said, "Maybe around 120 calories. That high?" Some of them looked envious, even jealous. Fong Ping had not been eye-catching before, but they did not expect his vitality to be 120 calories. Out of all the senior 3 martial science students in the school, only Zhou Bin and a top student from another elite class had a vitality of more than 120 calories. As for whether or not someone was concealing their strength, such a thing rarely happened. They were all students. Showing off was a common problem among students. It would be foolish to hide such a good result. "I'm just guessing, but the difference shouldn't be that big." Wu Zhihao looked at the others and said, "But it's best if we don't learn it. Otherwise, we won't even know how we die." Even if he could not pass the martial sciences exams, it was better than losing his life. "If I can't get in now, I'll just have to repeat a year. If I still can't make it, I'll just wait until I earn enough money to go to a martial arts training class." Everyone nodded. None of them had the guts to risk their lives to fight for an opportunity at this time. Naturally, Fong Ping was unaware of the discussion going on in class. Arrogance? He didn't think he was arrogant. It was just that he wasn't too familiar with those students. Moreover, the martial science examination was just around the corner. They did not even know if they would have the chance to interact with each other in the future. So, there was not much use in trying to establish a relationship now. Lakeview Gardens. As soon as Fong Ping opened the door, Fong Yuan tiptoed out from her room and said softly, "Fong Ping, come in." Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry. He was speechless. "You're a thief in your own home? Shoo." Fong Yuan raised a finger to her lips and shushed him. She turned around cautiously to look at the backyard and said angrily, "Come in." Fong Ping could not help but laugh. He changed his shoes and entered his sister's room. Once inside, Fong Yuan closed the door hurriedly and stuffed a plastic bag into Fong Ping's arms. Before Fong Ping could check it, Fong Yuan said in a low voice, "I'll give you half. Don't ask me for money. I've exchanged $100 for food reserves. It's gone. Also, don't tell Mom. What if I don't want my allowance this month? I'll give it all to you." Fong Ping did not say anything. He took the plastic bag and opened it. It was full of snacks. Fong Yuan was not generous with her money, but it was inevitable that children liked to eat snacks. Her parents rarely bought snacks for her. It was a waste of money and unhealthy for her body. In the past, whenever Fong Yuan had some pocket money, she would spend it on this. It was rare for her brother to be generous. Fong Yuan, who had $100 in her pocket, had only planned to buy snacks worth about $10. However, the girl's eyes blurred the moment she stepped into the snack shop. When she paid the bill, she realized that she had spent almost all of her $100, even though she had reduced her snacks by half. Afraid that Fong Ping would say she was wasteful, the girl thought about it for a long time and finally decided to split the spoils with her brother. Half for each of them. There should be no problem now, right? Fong Ping could not help but laugh when he saw how guilty she was. Fine, I'll buy them. I don't eat them. I'll give them all to you. No. Although the girl kept staring at the plastic bag in Fong Ping's hand, she still shook her head resolutely. I'll give you half, or you'll tell on me. Do I have to do that? Fong Ping rolled his eyes. What kind of person do you think your brother is, girl? I'm filthy rich now. $100 is nothing to me. Moreover, Fong Ping was not a child. He did not have the habit of eating snacks. Fong Ping tossed the bag of snacks onto the bed and laughed. Keep it for yourself. I've earned some money recently. If you run out of pocket money, you can ask me for it. Some things needed to be divulged appropriately. Now that Fong Ping had bought a phone he would have to rent or buy a house the next day. His parents were not at home most of the time, so there was no risk of him being exposed. Fong Yuan was different. She was always with Fong Ping, so divulging some information now could serve as a foundation. Fong Yuan asked curiously, "You've earned money?" "Yes." "How much?" "Don't ask me that. I'm not short of money right now anyway." "How did you earn it? Did you work?" "No." Then suddenly, Fong Yuan thought of something. She bared her fangs and brandished her claws, ready to fight Fong Ping. "Fong Ping, you're too much. You must have asked Wang Jinyang for his autograph and then sold it, right? That was my idea. I was wondering why you wouldn't let me talk to Wang Jinyang yesterday. So this was your plan. You're a villain, stealing the fruits of my labor." Fong Yuan was furious. She had been so grateful to her brother in the morning, and he had given her a huge sum of 100 yuan. He had used her idea and made a lot of money. Fong Ping was speechless. This girl's imagination was really good. He did not want to deny it, though. Since the girl was thinking that way, he would let her think it herself. Moreover, the money she made this time was indeed related to Wang Jinyang. Fong Ping did not deny it. So Fong Yuan thought that she had guessed correctly. She said with an annoyed expression, "Tell me the truth. How much did you sell it for?" "Not much. 1,000. Fong Yuan asked tentatively. "Ha! 2,000. Ha!" Fong Yuan inhaled sharply. No wonder her brother was so generous. He had earned more than 2,000. After a moment of shock, Fong Yuan's eyes darted around. Soon she smiled and said, "Brother, how about we split it 50-50? Oh, did I hear that right? What did you call me just now?" Fong Ping dug his ears, pretending that he did not hear it clearly. Brother, I said 50-50. Okay, if not, 40-60 is fine too." The girl did not look embarrassed at all. He was her brother, after all. Calling him brother would not cost her anything. Once she got her hands on Fong Ping's money, she would call him whatever she wanted. Fong Ping laughed. He waved his hand and said, "Don't get your hopes up. Besides, why do you need so much money? I'll give it to you when you run out of money. Also, please please me in the future. Don't call me Fong Ping so impudently." Fong Yuan was not happy that she could not split the money with her brother. However, considering that her brother was rich now, in the end, she smiled sweetly and nodded. She had made up her mind that she would empty her brother's coffers sooner or later. Fong Yuan was very friendly to Fong Ping, So much so that she even put food in his bowl. Her parents, who were eating with her, were stunned by the change in the girl. Although the two siblings had a good relationship, it was normal for them to argue. Since when did Fong Yuan learn to put food in Fong Ping's bowl? Fong Mingrong was a little jealous. He stopped drinking and knocked on his empty bowl, glancing at Fong Yuan a few times. He was obviously saying, "You're putting food in your brother's bowl. What about me?" Fong Yuan was a clever girl. When she saw her father's unfriendly attitude, she smiled sweetly and put food in his bowl. She also filled Li Yueying's bowl with rice. The atmosphere at dinner was very good because of her antics. The dinner was not too sumptuous, but the family ate happily. The family was happy, and Fong Ping was in a good mood. When he trained at night, Fong Ping did 160 push-ups in one go, even though he could only do 100 times the day before. After he was done, Fong Yuan, who had been watching over him, almost cheered him on. Flattery was one thing. Fong Yuan thought that her brother was pretty awesome. Chapter 37. The next day, Sunday, Fong Ping, who had woken up early, did not try to trick his sister again. He knocked on the door on purpose. He washed up and changed into a set of slightly more mature clothes. Then, he stuffed all the cash he had hidden in his room into his backpack. Today, he was going to check out a house. It would be best if it had a gym. If it was cheap, he would buy one. If it was expensive, he would rent one. His house was too small, and he did not have any equipment. Fong Ping only had a few sets for his workout. Without the assistance of equipment, there were some movements that he couldn't do by himself. On top of that, he was about to get his hands on the cultivation method. He needed to find a more suitable environment to cultivate in. The downtown area of Sun City was not too big. Fong Ping did not want to buy a house in the suburbs. It was too far from number 1 high school and his house. It was inconvenient. Therefore, he could only choose a residential area that was not far from number 1 middle school and Lakeview Gardens. The neighborhood had to be new, and it would be best if it was well renovated, so that he wouldn't have to renovate it himself. If he couldn't buy a deluxe room, a second-hand one would do. The environment must be good, and the housing must be cheap. With that in mind, Fong Ping did not have many choices. 7 or 8 minutes later, Scenic Lake Gardens. Scenic Lake Gardens was not far from number 1 middle school and Lakeview Gardens. It was located in the middle of the two and was slightly inclined. The residential area was officially opened in 2006, and residents only moved in 2007. It had been 2 years since the opening of the market, but the houses in Scenic Lake Gardens had not been sold out yet, and the sales department was still there. It was not sold out not because the environment was bad, but because the quality was not good. The main reason was that the demand for houses in Yang City was not that high at this time. In 2008, houses in big cities were in short supply, and real estate groups were not uncommon. However, Sun City was just a small city in the central region. Very few people would come to Sun City to speculate in real estate. It was not worth it. Real estate sales department. When Fong Ping walked through the door, it was very quiet inside. There was almost no one around. After all, the market had been open for 2 years, and the remaining houses were only some unfinished houses, so there weren't many of them. The employees who were chatting inside paused for a moment when they saw Fong Ping enter. After a while, a woman in her 20s wearing professional attire walked over. "Sir, which one do you like? If you want to see a house, I can accompany you." The staff member was quite friendly and did not mind Fong Ping's age. It was normal for someone of Fong Ping's age to be preparing for marriage. Since they were married, they naturally needed a wedding house. He did not ask Fong Ping if he wanted to buy a house, but asked him which one he had his eyes on. This was also a form of rhetorical skill. The houses in Scenic Lake Gardens had been sold for 2 years. Even the sales lady, who knew nothing at the time, was now experienced. As soon as the client entered the door, He immediately asked for his requirements and went to view the house. When the customer is hesitating, don't give the customer too many choices. You can't just set another trap right after seeing that one is not good. Some clients were the hesitant type. It would be bad if they saw too much, so they would hesitate even more. Most of the time, it was the first house that could be sold. Some customers had watched the first set dozens of times, but in the end, they still felt that the first set was better. This had become a habit. Also, young people like Fong Ping were easier to fool. If it were a middle-aged couple, that would be torture. As the sales lady thought about it, she skillfully repeated the words she had said hundreds of times. Fong Ping did not interrupt her. He waited for a while before asking, "Do you have any hardcover ones?" "Yes." The sales lady perked up. Only those who made requests like this were prospective clients. Those who came in did not say anything and only said that they were just looking around. In the end, most of them really did just that. After answering, the sales lady hurriedly walked to the side of the building models. She pointed at a few of them and said, "Buildings 8, 9, and 10 are all hardcover houses, but they're almost sold out now. Do you have any requirements for the floor?" There are still choices for the top floor and the first floor. For the middle and high floors, there are only buildings 1604 in Building 9 and 1801 in Building 10. In my opinion, the first floor is actually very good. Not only is it cheap, but it's also convenient to go in and out. The sales lady strongly recommended the first floor. Nowadays, the first floor and the top floor were harder to sell. The remaining floors of scenic lake gardens were mainly of these two types. Fong Ping listened for a while and thought for a while. The top floor is a duplex. There are duplexes, and there are also those with attics. There was not much difference between the two, but duplexes were taller, and those with attics were more oppressive. Fong Ping pondered. If he were to cultivate by himself, he might cause some commotion sometimes. The first floor was not so good. Passers-by could see him. The top floor with duplexes was much better. Wu Zhihao's house was a duplex. If he caused a commotion on the second floor, it would not reach the ground floor. With the restrictions, Fong Ping did not have many choices left. Duplexes were not as popular now, and they were not cheap either. In scenic lake gardens, there were only 4 apartments on the top floor of Building 9 that were duplexes. 2 of them had been sold, and the remaining 2 were still empty. After the sales lady finished her introduction, Fong Ping said immediately, "Bring me there." "Okay, I'll get the key. Please wait for a moment." The sales lady was straightforward. She hurried to the counter to get the key, her heart filled with anticipation. Although Fong Ping was a man of few words and was young, people like him, who made a clear request before looking for a house, usually bought a house without hesitation as long as the price was right. The prerequisite was that he had money. A few minutes later, Fong Ping and the sales lady arrived at the top floor of Building 9. When the sales lady opened the door, Fong Ping felt that it was not bad as soon as he entered. There was plenty of light, and the layout was reasonable. It did not have the cramped feeling of a typical duplex. Some duplexes were designed to reduce the public space and maximize the use of it. The public space was very small, giving off a cramped and oppressive feeling as soon as one entered. The bigger the city, the more prosperous the residential area, the more it was like this. After all, the public space was only counted as the square footage of the first floor, not the size of the property ownership certificate. Duplexes with empty spaces were rarer the bigger the city. The duplexes that most people talked about were only double stories. The property prices in small cities like Sun City were not too high. Naturally, it was more suitable for living. Although it was said to be intricately decorated, it was actually just the flooring, walls, doors, and windows. There was nothing else. On the first floor was the living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom, a bedroom, and a balcony that was not considered small. On the second floor were 2 bedrooms, a small study, a room that could be used as a gym and a bathroom, other than the empty space in the living room, which was not counted as a two-story building. All the rooms in the duplexes were counted as actual space. Fong Ping looked at it briefly and was quite satisfied. Although the decorations were simple, Fong Ping did not need to be too extravagant. He would not stay in Sun City for long. When he went to a martial arts university, the house would naturally be left to his parents. For now, it was fine as long as it was livable. Moreover, this place had been renovated for more than a year. The smell was not even needed. After looking around, Fong Ping went straight to the point. "How much is it?" "Sir, you have good tastes." The sales lady praised Fong Ping first, then said immediately, "Unit 2601 is the best unit in our residential area. We don't count the empty space, so it's a free gift to you. Also, our duplexes in scenic lake gardens are different from other residential areas. Many residential areas are called duplexes, but they're just attics with very low floor heights. Adding the two floors together, a floor height of 3 to 4 meters is considered normal, and the space is oppressive. We're different. We follow the normal floor height layout, and the two floors have a ceiling height of 8 meters. The sales lady belittled the duplexes in other residential areas and praised scenic lake gardens for a while. She was not belittling them, but she had to make things clear before she quoted a price. The two duplexes in scenic lake gardens could not be sold because of the price. Many people were satisfied with the apartments, but when it came time to buy them, they had a lot of problems. Other residential areas did not count the two-story area, and other residential areas were cheaper. Now that Fong Ping was asking about the price, she naturally had to prepare in advance. After praising herself for a while, the sales lady finally got to the point. The area of the property is 186 square meters. The empty space is a gift to you. If we calculate it according to a normal two-story building, the area is more than 230 square meters. The price is very good too. If you buy it now, we'll refund the deed tax and maintenance fund. Also, we're a deluxe unit. If you renovate it yourself, the renovation cost would be hundreds of thousands, but now we're the last unit, and the company hopes to sell it as soon as possible. The discount is even better. After trying to fool Fong Ping for a while, the sales lady felt a little defeated when she saw Fong Ping's indifference. Finally, she lowered her voice when she mentioned the price. The total price is $860,000. In 2008, $860,000 to buy a house in Sun City was not cheap at all. With that much money, one could buy a small villa in the suburbs. On average, it was more than $4,600 per square meter. The price of a house nearby was usually between 3,500 to 4,000 yuan. Even if it was a deluxe unit, this level of renovation was not too expensive. If it was 4,000 per square meter, the house would have been sold a long time ago. However, above 4,600, even if it was a duplex with an empty space, few people would be willing to buy it. After giving the price, the sales lady said hurriedly, "Sir, the one next to it is slightly smaller. The layout is similar to this one." Fong Ping waved his hand. It was his habit to spend money when he had it. At the moment, he had sufficient cultivation resources and did not have to worry about money. Now that he had money, he would, of course, enjoy it first. Fong Ping thought that this unit was not bad. After the renovation, 4,600 per square meter was relatively expensive. However, the neighborhood's environment was good, and the house type was not bad. He could afford the price. Compared to Wu Jihao's duplex, the one he was looking at was bigger, and the layout was more reasonable. Plus, money came easily. Fong Ping went out directly, just when the sales lady was a little disappointed. Fong Ping said as he walked, "Let's go to the sales department and talk about the price. If it's cheaper, I'll pay in full." As soon as he said that, the sales lady was overjoyed. Sure enough, Young people were straightforward. She had brought people to look at this unit at least 10 times. However, she had never seen anyone as straightforward as Fong Ping. Chapter 38. The Sales Department. After confirming Fong Ping's intention to buy a house, the sales department's supervisor personally attended to him. Scenic Lake Gardens had been open for 2 years now. There were not many houses left, and the developers did not want to waste too much energy here. Especially for a full payment, the discount was not small. Full payment, 95% discount. Deed tax and maintenance fund were all exempted. After some calculations, the supervisor made the final decision, looking as if he had suffered a great loss. He said harshly, "Mr. Fong, pay 20% of the deposit now, and I can apply to the higher-ups for a discount. Mr. Fong, you only have to pay $810,000 to get the house. 810,000, 186 square meters, hardcover. It was about 4,350 yuan per square meter. Even if it was cheaper for the developers to renovate, utilities, flooring, and walls alone were not cheap. In reality, the price was less than 4,000 yuan per square meter. The price of a duplex was not high. It was not expensive even when compared to the average residential area. End houses were cheap to begin with, and duplexes were slightly larger if they included the second floor. The rich in Sun City now lived in villas in the suburbs. There was no shortage of ordinary families willing to pay more than 800,000 yuan for a house in big cities, but there were very few customers in small cities. Even if they wanted to buy a duplex, people in Sun City preferred to buy the double-story houses that did not include the second floor. Fong Ping was distracted when the supervisor quoted the price. Right now, Fong Ping was thinking about Huang Bin, 3 rank 1 vitality pills for 900,000. 3 rank 1 vitality pills were just daily vitality supplements for a peak rank 2 martial artist like Huang Bin. If he was extravagant, he would have them in a month. If he was frugal, he would have 1 pill a month, and it would be gone in 3 months. To replenish his vitality, a rank 2 martial artist would eat a house that Fong Ping's parents could not afford in a lifetime. That was the difference between a normal person and a martial artist. A world of difference, especially a martial artist like Huang Bin, who was not doing very well among martial artists. As Fong Ping's mind wandered, the supervisor opposite him was a little nervous. Fortunately, Fong Ping recovered quickly and said, "I won't bargain, but you'll be in charge of all the paperwork. Be fast. We can sign the contract today. I'll pay 210,000 as a deposit first. I'll transfer the rest when the paperwork is done and the house is handed over." Hearing this, even the supervisor felt that this young man was really straightforward. No ambiguity, no long-windedness, and most importantly, money. If Fong Ping really wanted to grind it out, he might even be able to reach a final price of 800,000. However, it was easy for Fong Ping to earn money. If he wanted to bargain, judging by the way the supervisor was acting, he would have to apply to the higher-ups in the long run who knew how long they would be delayed. Fong Ping had a lot on his plate at the moment. He had to prepare for the martial sciences exams, prepare for his cultural studies, and train his body. There wasn't much time left. For the sake of the 10,000 yuan, he might have to make several more trips. In Fong Ping's opinion, this was not worth it. Fong Ping was straightforward, and the sales supervisor was happy. The procedures for buying a house with full payment were very simple. There was no need for a mortgage, so the procedures were much simpler, especially if Fong Ping was willing to pay a deposit of more than 20%. That would make things even easier. Soon, both parties signed the purchase contract. Fong Ping did not need to apply for a mortgage. He only needed to provide a copy of his ID and household register. Fong Ping had made preparations to buy a house when he left the house in the morning. He carried his ID with him and the household registration booklet he had found in his parents' room. He made a few copies on the spot. Fong Ping signed the purchase contract and the commission contract and took out $210,000 cash from his bag to pay. Both parties were in a hurry, so everything went smoothly. The only minor hiccup was when the supervisor saw Fong Ping's age on his ID and flattered him for a while. He knew that Fong Ping was young, but he was only 18 years old, which was even younger than he had imagined. If a young man of his age decided to buy a house on his own, it meant that his family was too rich to care about $1 million or $800,000. Otherwise, it meant that the young man was capable, and his family was not worried about the need to discuss the purchase. Of course, the second reason was that he had to be rich too. Either way, it proved that Fong Ping was extraordinary, at least in Sun City. In less than half an hour, the supervisor sent Fong Ping out with a smile on his face. "Mr. Fong, Scenic Lake Gardens has been open for 2 years. The procedures are very quick. With your commission contract, you don't even have to show up during the procedures. In a few days, when the property ownership certificate is ready, you can come and collect it directly. When the time comes, you can prepare the remaining payment and complete the handover." He reminded Fong Ping to prepare the money. Fong Ping did not have to worry about anything else. In this day and age, the rich were the masters. If you did not have the money, you would have to pay a mortgage. You would have to make countless trips to the bank. However, if Fong Ping paid in full, these troubles were not troubles at all. After sending Fong Ping out of the sales department for some distance, the supervisor turned around and left, chuckling. Fong Ping was in a good mood after leaving the sales department. 810,000 renminbi to buy a large duplex was still within his range of affordability. He had more than one. 22 million on him now. Even after buying the house, he still had more than 400,000 left. After buying some fitness equipment, the remaining money would be enough for now. He also had a lot of pills on hand, enough for him to cultivate until he became a martial artist. Before becoming a martial artist, Fong Ping did not have to worry about money. After he became a martial artist, he would have the identity of a martial artist, and the system would have a grasp of the general trend. Fong Ping was not too worried that he would be troubled by money in the future. Fong Ping did not linger outside after he had settled the matter of the house. Perhaps Wang Jinyang's express delivery would arrive today. Fong Ping could not wait any longer. He returned home. Fong Yuan had just woken up and was watching television on the sofa. When she saw Fong Ping, she yawned and asked, "Fong Ping, where did you go so early in the morning?" This girl had obviously forgotten about yesterday's incident after waking up. She had already thought about calling him brother before emptying his little treasury. Now that she had called him by his name, it was obvious that she had not thought about it. Fong Ping did not argue with her. He said casually, "I went out for some fresh air. Have you had breakfast?" "Not yet." Fong Yuan opened her mouth and yawned again. "Did anyone send a delivery?" "I don't think so." Fong Yuan asked doubtfully, "Did you buy anything?" "Yes, some martial science textbooks." Fong Yuan lost interest when she heard that it was textbooks. She asked lazily, "What are we having for lunch?" She hadn't even eaten breakfast, but she was already thinking about what to eat for lunch. It was then that Fong Yuan remembered that Fong Ping still had a small treasury. Her brother had a little treasury, so it was only natural for him to have something delicious for lunch. Before Fong Ping could answer, Fong Yuan said happily, "Fong Ping, do you want to eat KFC? I've never eaten there before. I heard from my classmates that it's really delicious. What's so good about a foreigner's fast food?" Fong Ping thought nothing of it. Fong Yuan's next words almost choked him to death. "Brother, go and try it. I heard that the president of KFC's parent company in Sino Nation is a rank 7 martial artist. If you eat their chicken wings, you might realize something and become a martial artist too." Cough, cough, cough. Fong Ping choked. Were the two related? Fong Ping did not know that the president of Yuxing's Sino Nation was a rank 7 martial artist. Could it be that their chicken could cultivate martial arts and one could become a martial artist after eating it. Fong Ping did not know whether to laugh or cry, but he agreed in the end. It was not because of what his sister had said about becoming a martial artist after eating their chicken, but because of what she had said earlier. I haven't eaten there before. Fong Yuan was in the second year of middle school, 14 years old. For a girl of her age, from a slightly better family, eating a few KFC meals was nothing. The Fangs were not well off, but they could still afford it. The main thing was that Fong Yuan was sensible. She had never mentioned it to her parents, so she only wanted to extort money from Fong Ping. Fong Ping did not have much pocket money before. Now that he was earning money, Fong Yuan felt that she had done a great service, so she wanted to extort money from her brother. Fong Ping still had more than 10,000 in cash on him. Taking his sister to a foreigner's fast food was not a big deal. After waiting at home for the whole morning, the express delivery did not arrive. Fong Ping did not wait any longer and brought Fong Yuan out for a meal. It was her first time eating KFC, so she was very excited. Everything she ate tasted good. Fong Ping, who did not have much of an appetite, was influenced by Fong Yuan and ate a lot too. The siblings spent more than 100 yuan on the meal. This was considered extravagant for Fong Yuan. She did not think much about it during the meal, but on the way home, she could not help but blame herself. I'm not going next time. It's not good at all, and it's so damn expensive. Why did you eat so much just now if it's not good? Fong Ping teased. Fong Yuan blushed and said stubbornly, "It's because you ordered too much. I was afraid it would go to waste, so I ate so much. You're not allowed to eat anymore. Also, you're too wasteful with money. Let me keep the rest of your money. I'll give it to you when you need it." Fong Ping glared at her. How could she say something like that? Now that the money was in this little miser's hands, it was almost impossible for Fong Ping to get it back. Of course, it was more likely that the girl would hand it over to her parents. That was very likely. Fong Ping ignored her. When he reached his house, he saw a delivery truck. Fong Ping hurried over and asked, "Is there a delivery for Block 6, 101? The delivery man was about to make a call when he heard that and sighed in relief. "I knocked on your door just now, but there was no one at home. I was about to call you. Coincidentally, you're from 101? "Yes, I'm Fong Ping." "That's right. Please sign for it." After confirming Fong Ping's identity, the delivery man took out a cardboard box from the delivery truck. Fong Ping glanced at it and felt a little strange. Did a book need a box to carry it? As he signed for the delivery, Fong Ping moved the box. It was quite heavy, so it did not seem to be a book. Wang Jinyang did not say what he had sent him, and Fong Ping did not ask. Now, it seemed that old Wang might have sent more things. After signing for the delivery, Fong Ping moved the box home. His steps were quick, and his face was full of excitement. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.